The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Feel Good Friday, October 1st, 2021, years after zero. Rabbit, this show begins right now. Yeah. Shout out to Twine for that beat drop, and shout out to you listening on Sirius XM or watching at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. The thing about this particular Feel Good Friday is last night there was an opportunity presented. Last night, I had a chance to potentially take $8 million plus from FanDuel last night.
Jesus.
43,000 or 44,000 people tailing our same game parlay. It would have cost FanDuel, I got a text this morning, over $8 million.
Damn.
And in the first half, they had us, okay? In the first half, it did not look great, all right? Although Trevor Lawrence was running well, check, very early in the game, and Joe Burrow seemed to be slinging the ball all over the yard, although they weren't scoring. That's going to be a check. He threw for the over in one half last night. Felt like that was going to happen, that we needed in there. Joe Mixon got a half an inch away from scoring a touchdown. They rule him down. Oh, Joe Burrow calls his own number. They rule him down. Ooh. After a commercial break celebration. Mixon scores the touchdown. Check. Here we go. Yeah. Mixon starts rolling. They start feeding him. Even when they were down 14, they kept going. Check. Here we go. Everything seemed to be rolling. The Cincinnati Bengals are going to have to come back and win. And although A.J. Hawk, who's the hottest against the spread on earth, said Jaguars plus 7.5, there was very easily, and we talked about it yesterday, a way that we could both win there with the Bengals winning from an Evan McPherson field goal. That kid is a stud. And the only one on this entire thing that I thought was a home run bet, national television, Joe Burrow, who is a stud, who has the it factor, is very competitive. Ohio guy, I think he takes a lot of pride in representing Cincinnati, which Cincinnati Bengals need that at quarterback because we do know how the food and the thing is. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought for sure he would throw the ball to Jamar Chase in the end zone because Jamar Chase obviously was picked because Joe Burrow said, hey, this is the guy I would like on my team. Even though Joe Burrow is very young, it has paid off for them in the very short run that they've had together. And although Jamar Chase was targeted a lot and got a lot of big-time yards, for whatever reason, he was not able to find the pay dirt. For whatever reason, he was not able to find the paint. For whatever reason, he was not able to find the zone that would have gave us $8.5 million for FanDuel.
God damn it.
I had a lot of people dancing on my grave in the first half of that game yesterday. Then they got a little bit quiet as the second half happened, and then immediately after the game goes, they start telling me, oh, that's why whenever Pat picks a bet, you go against every single pick. Well, you would have won fucking 2-5 last night.
How about that?
Okay, how about that? So you're dancing on my grave and you lost, but not as much as we all lost from getting an opportunity to take that from FanDuel. And I would like to let everybody know, okay, that I loved that game last night. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was spectacular to watch the nuances of not only Trevor Lawrence, who much more athletic than we give him.
Yeah. He's a good athlete.
6'6". He flies around. He's a competitor. I think I saw some passion. I saw a let's fucking go, I think, to one of his offensive linemen. There was a pat on the back. I loved watching Trevor Lawrence play football last night. It feels like Agnew, the kick six heartbreaker for the brand of last week, is an explosive, incredible player. He got his feet down. But what I enjoyed most, I think we're all on the same page here, watching Urban Meyer through that entire game.
Man.
Back at Ohio. I didn't know he went to the University of Cincinnati. He graduated from the University of Cincinnati. This was a homecoming, especially to the state of Ohio, in which he's won a lot for and is beloved. Going back to Cincinnati, there was a couple moments I thought he was going to quit right there on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen this one before. 2 different jobs, haven't we? I mean, we've seen that one.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, 4 different jobs. We've seen that one right there. And I want to let everybody know that I think our mischaracterization of Urban Meyer retiring from jobs and opportune times for him and maybe inopportune, whatever the case, retiring from jobs, leaving jobs. And it's always been something, and we've always judged him for it, I think, in a negative way. I honestly believe Urban Meyer's just fucking that passionate about his team, that passionate about his players. I think he is genuinely heartbroken over the loss to Zach Taylor and the Cincinnati Bengals last night. He talked about it. He said, hey, we got a lot of good guys in that locker room, all right? There are a lot of heartbroken guys in there. He seemed heartbroken. He was asked about a play in the first half. He's like, I don't even know what happened. My head's spinning right now. My God, I enjoyed watching Urban Meyer. I enjoyed watching that game last night. I think it's because it was my first time really getting to see Trevor Urban in the NFL, and it was something that I'd been big fans of theirs, and big fan of Trevor. Not always the biggest fan of Urban. He did come out and talk shit at me at one point for no reason.
Yeah.
No reason at all, by the way. Just took a shot at me out of nowhere. So I had to respond. We have gotten over it and past it, but I enjoyed the game because it was a great football game.
Yeah. It was.
Shout out to Ooze, the tight end, scoring 2 tugs.
Yeah. Shout
out to Evan McPherson. Shout out to Joe Mixon getting going. And also Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor got a win on primetime television last night as a coach. We didn't know that was possible.
No way.
We had no idea that this guy was going to be able to accomplish that. I honestly, I think a lot of us, and maybe not the Bengals fans, so shout out to the Bengals fans supporting and having the back of their coach, but there was not a lot to say that guy should have kept his job for as long as he kept his job, other than the fact that the Bengals ownership maybe didn't want to have to pay 2 different coaches because the contract said it would last a little bit longer. He got hired in the middle of that McVay run. You remember when McVay had success, then it was like, oh, this dude maybe high-five Sean McVay at a coaching event in this way. He got a head coaching job. Oh, my God, this guy, though, swam in the same, you saw in Hard Knocks that pool, he swam in the same fucking pool as McVay. Oh, he got a job. Zach Taylor was one of those. Young, upstart, super smart offensive coaches got it, and they never fucking won. I mean, never. They did not win. He was bad. That team was bad, and we didn't fully understand it. We felt bad for the Bengals fans. We felt bad for Houday Nation, but on the other side, why wasn't anybody asking, like, is this guy supposed to be a fucking head coach? Like, is Zach Taylor supposed to be a head coach in the NFL? There are people that get hired in the wrong positions all the time. The Peter principle is something that happens in all walks of life. It was most accurately portrayed when Steve Carell in The Office.
That's right.
He was a great salesman, great all the way up there. Put him in a position of power, obviously, a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
That happens in coaching as well. It happens in your business probably everywhere. People get hired that were great at something else. They get hired to more power in a position that is not exactly anywhere near what they were actually good at. I mean, we're seeing it all over the place. It happens all the time. It makes no sense. And sometimes it hits, but sometimes it doesn't. And you just kind of got to weigh that terrible mistake for a long time. And I think in some places you even like the person, but it's like, hey, you stink at this. Like, you were great here. You stink at this. I was asking that about Zach Taylor. Like, hey, maybe Zach Taylor is a great offensive guru. Maybe he is great at coaching in a position group or a coordinator or something like that. But this guy seems to stink as a head coach. And nobody's talking about it because it's Cincinnati.
Yeah. Right.
And I talked about it, and then Cincinnati people got mad at me, and I'm like, hey, this is something you guys should be talking, like the indoor practice facility. That's something their fans should be talking. Their fans get mad at me for bringing this up because it's like, it is a knock on if you watch any other place in what they're investing in the team, your team is going to have to, now granted, they might have the guys to do it. They had it back in the day whenever they had Pac-Man and I believe AJ Hawk was on that team.
Yep.
That they had a great group there that was able to go through. And I'm not saying the indoor practice facility is the end-all be-all, but if they don't have an indoor practice facility, imagine the other shit that is not available, that is probably in every other building, that is trying to build cities, not just have a stadium. Every other building is trying to build cities. So I just thought, maybe this guy shouldn't be a head coach. He gets a massive win. The handshake with Urban Meyer afterwards, it's probably nice for Zach to be on that side of it. I'm sure Zach almost wanted to say, like, hey, there is better days. By the way, for me, it's right now. And then just see you later. What a game. I enjoyed the hell out of that Thursday Night Football game, aside from the fact that Jamar Chase did not get in the end zone, and we weren't able to take over $8 million in a risk-free bet from FanDuel. That would have been fucking glorious. That would have been beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Today's victory lap would have been incredible. Man. It would have carried right into SmackDown tonight in Baltimore. I mean, this victory lap would have carried. I probably would have tried to put another same-game parlay together for, like, maybe college football. Maybe, like, hey, I would have been like, hey, I'm hot. We need
go.
to do
Keep
it.
it rolling.
But now I have to kind of have my tail between my legs because it didn't hit, but hopefully the next one will. At Ty Schmidt, your thoughts on last night?
First half, very boring. Very boring. Yeah. And I did almost fall asleep. I'm glad I came back around it because Joe Burrow is very, very fun to watch. And like I said yesterday, Trevor Lawrence looked great too, but like it's just really fun when that offense is going. They are very, very fun to watch. Yeah. Still though, that was the first time in his career he's won back-to-back games. So I don't know if like the Zach Taylor stuff. I mean, he's still very well.
What is it? Year 4, year 3?
Year 3, I think. Right?
Year 3?
I thought it was. Wasn't he the one?
Was he a rookie last year?
Yeah.
No. Zach Taylor's been around 3. Yeah. This is 3 years. That's why
Zach Taylor, not Burrow.
Yeah, I'm talking about Zach Taylor. Yeah. I don't know if you're talking about Joey Burrow. Were you talking about Zach Taylor there?
Well, I mean, in Burrow's career, and they stunk. They got the first pick. So like he definitely did. I don't think he won 2 in a row that year. So I don't know if he is the guy necessarily. It's good that they're winning and looking good, but with Urban, like it's nice that he is like that passionate and everything. But like, isn't it like that? This is his fault completely. It's like, hey, you got to set that expectation when you go in. Did he think they were going to win like 13 games this year?
Trevor Lawrence,
he's a moron.
Trevor Lawrence has lost more games in the NFL than he lost in his entire high school and college career.
Yeah. Saw that 80 times last
night. Line it up, by the way. Everybody that makes it in the NFL that's drafted in the top 10 picks was probably good enough to lead their team or carry their team in lower levels to a much higher success rate.
Yeah.
Okay, I assume that can be said a lot. But that has become a story because it's not just Trevor Lawrence. It's also Urban Meyer, who has, I guess, never lost. Like at Bowling Green, did he never lose? So as soon as Urban Meyer became a coach, they just won? Like, is that something that actually happened?
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking run. I understand why he would potentially get, to the point where his anxiety level would be so bad that his entire body would stop functioning as a coach, because it's like the expectations are, I have never lost in my life. What a wild fucking thing. And if that is how he views it as soon as getting in there, I've won. High school, Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State, fucking on Fox. I was crushing, dude.
Yeah, Big Ten was
sky
high.
Yeah, no big deal, dude. I'll fucking come right in here. We'll turn this whole thing around. Look at these stupid coaches up here in the NFL. Like, is that what he was thinking, or
his 2 years at Bowling Green, he was 8-3 and 9-3.
Yeah,
never lost 4 in a season.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
And they might lose
15.
15, 16 games.
I don't think so. All right, watching that game last night, I disagreed with you there for 15, but then I remembered what I was telling myself while watching that game last night. Like, this team is not as terrible as maybe like some other teams we have seen around the NFL. Mm-hmm. And we had not, I think that was a lot of people's, not just ours, although we are in the sports media world. I do try to see everything.
Hell yeah.
Only have so many TVs, though, for the good of the environment.
That's right.
Smart.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, reducing your carbon footprint.
Bingo.
Don't want to do that.
If I wanted to have, enough TVs to watch every single game, including Jacksonville Jaguars games every weekend, I mean, imagine what I'd be doing to the fucking ozone.
Crushing it.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've not seen a single game of theirs. Okay, I'll watch I've seen highlights. Mm-hmm. I've seen lowlights. I've seen like a quick clip of their game summarized, but I had not watched an entire game. I think the team is not that far away. Now, every NFL team is not that far away because you're dealing with professional athletes. You're dealing with NFL players that have been, combed through and selected by whoever. Even if you have a couple bad people, you're going to get some good players. So every team, and I said this before, the year that we won 2-14, there was a lot of games that it was one-score games that we could have won. But for whatever reason, we just couldn't do it. And I think it was because Peyton Manning potentially had a broken fucking neck.
Could be.
I think that is potentially why.
Reason.
But, before with that roster, when Peyton, was playing, winningest decade in NFL history, then as soon as Peyton's out and he's hurt, whatever, we almost go completely defeated. We were literally 2 years removed from almost going completely undefeated and only losing until when we chose to lose, to just a couple years later completely defeated until Dan Orlovsky, who...
Uh-oh.
I think he's going to take it on his shins today from our first guest.
He might.
I think he's going to potentially take it on his shins from our first guest. But Dan Orlovsky, friend of ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We've told Dan, hey, sometimes you say some stuff,
Easy, Dan.
Pipe down.
But we love Dan. That's going to happen whenever you're on literally every show on ESPN.
Right.
Dan Orlovsky's live just as long as us every single day on 7 different shows on ESPN from his basement.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
in studio as well. But Dan Orlovsky came in and won us 2 games. and that almost ruined everything. But it is crazy how you can have a good team and still not win games in the NFL for whatever reason. How long will it take for that team to get I don't want to say the momentum, but the it fact, the winningness, the grit, whatever it is at the end of the game to get the game on their side and for them to win? Because I forget what it is. The parity of the NFL is always talked about, although we have seen some blowouts and everything like that. I think a couple years ago, whenever I saw the stat, I'm an old man now, it was like 80% of the games or something are one-score games, or 85% of the games are like one-score games or something like that. So you literally, you can get wins even if you're a bad team. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching them last night thinking like, oh, this team feels like they're going to at least win a couple games. Like it wasn't what we said there about them potentially going completely defeated. But I thought they looked better than I thought. But Urban Meyer, much more distraught than I could have ever expected afterwards. Is that a self-handicapping for whenever he potentially says, I can't.
It's too much.
His heart hurts.
Yeah, it's too much.
Or is he legitimately all in and like pissed and like can't wait to turn this thing around? I don't know. At Boston Connor, as a guy who is, seen now both ends of the spectrum.
Sure.
When you're a team, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
when your team is at the top, and then when it has a losing season, you've got a chance to experience both of those. The Jacksonville Jaguars fans, they can't expect Urban Meyer to be great this year, right?
No way.
There's no way they're expecting that. Now in Cincinnati, do you think they're potentially setting themselves up for like, oh my God, this is going to come crashing down, we're getting too excited? Or do you think the Bengals with Joey Burrow, with that it factor, with Cincinnati behind them, with do you think the Cincinnati Bengals are for real? They just beat the Steelers, obviously, at home. They win a game in overtime their opening week. They have that winning, they have that winning factor that they seem to always, those close games, the Bengals are winning. That's a big conversation piece. Are the Bengals all the way back to it?
I'd say absolutely not. I definitely going into the game thought the Bengals were much better than they were and thought the Jags were much worse than they were. I thought the Jags, if anything, looked better than what a lot of people expected them to look like. Trevor Lawrence is very good at football, and being on a rookie contract for the next 5 years, I feel like they will be able to build that team.
They won't be able to keep that thing 5.
Yeah, you can't do the 5th-year option with the guy.
You could, but there's no way if he does anything good, that thing will get extended.
Seal him up right away.
He won't get into his 5th year.
Just give him the 10-year.
Yeah.
Give him the Mahomes.
I would assume that would be because, you got to think about the Khan family down there that owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've gone in there. They've invested a lot of money now.
Yeah.
They've invested a lot of money. They've owned the team. I think they are invested. I think their offices are there as opposed to they have a bunch of other teams as well. I think they're fully invested in there. If you finally get a quarterback that has brought you some success or whatever, now he's going to have to win some games and they're going to have to turn that place around.
They got the Jets later.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the next 3 years are going to have to do that. But I assume there would no way, though. Like Derek Carr playing in his last year right now is insane to think about.
Yeah.
That is very insane to think about. And also, I guess you could say, Aaron's kind of playing.
It is last year.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
is it?
It's not a done deal yet.
No, it's not.
Again,
because he loved going back to Lambeau.
Yeah, loves the fans.
Yeah, but let's not forget the IG post that him and Devontae Adams did before
Last dance.
We can't forget that.
Yeah, but that might have been about Devontae, though. That might have been about.
They both posted.
If Aaron's staying, we need him to stay too. He can't let that guy go either.
And if Aaron leaves, by the way.
That guy's leaving.
Yeah.
That's probably going to the Raiders to buy Derek Carr.
So you were mightily impressed by the Jaguars. So me too.
Absolutely. I mean, the Bengals were missing a couple guys, like the Bates dude, the safety
Jesse
they
Bates,
got.
yeah.
Yeah, Jesse Bates. He's apparently a stud. He's one of their better players on defense, which is probably why. I mean, Jimmy Robinson looked amazing too. He was running all over the place.
I mean, we went into this game thinking, though, that the Jaguars were the worst football
blowout.
team.
I was expecting the Bengals to win like 38-10.
See, and look what we did, Urban. This is the same expectation that Urban should have.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Now, he can't necessarily do that, but I think I did not know he had never lost more than 3 games in his entire coaching career, even when he just began at Bowling Green or whatever. But if he went in there with expectations of winning a bunch of games, I think that is mightily short-sighted, but I do believe this is potentially going to motivate him to get back into winning. I think that if he doesn't leave, and, they don't have to do a full turnover. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think maybe that team's able to do some shit.
Yeah,
they answered. Trevor Lawrence answered last night a couple times. I think that's a big deal.
I mean, if people give him shit all the time for like the hard stuff and all that kind of stuff, but if definitely. And, you have to. I mean, that's just the way it goes. But if he legitimately is putting these expectations on and he's feeling like he might kill himself. He might have a fucking heart attack.
Bingo.
Like, that fucks with you big time.
The ulcers, probably.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm sure his stomach hurts all the time, always has chest pain. Like,
hey, watch the interview. after the game where he talks about how heartbroken the guys are and how good they ask him about my head's spinning right now just because how heartbroken I am. Yo, it's week 4, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, you still got 13
Long way to
more
go.
weeks.
Strap in,
You got
dude.
13 more weeks, sir. Like, hey, there is no pity parties, and they do not care because guess what? Next week, it does not matter what you did against Cincinnati. Whoever you're playing will be trying to beat you 65-70 nothing if they can.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is an actuality.
And I believe it's the Finns, and the Finns
Titans.
are Titans
Then
next week.
Finns.
Then the Finns.
Well, the Titans,
Yikes.
Jesus.
That's
I mean,
even
that's not
tough,
good.
yeah.
That's a division game, but also maybe Jacksonville finds a way to win. Maybe this Thursday night game, say Urban can, get over the heartbreak and say, hey, listen, we're all upset. I almost had a heart attack. I got 4 ulcers. Okay, we're all broken, but we got 13 more games, and I think we proved to ourselves and to everybody that we can play with anybody. That Cincinnati Bengals team, guess who they just beat a week ago? Fucking Pittsburgh Steelers.
How about that?
We just went into their house on prime time and did that on a short week. I think that's the message. Maybe they'll be able to do it. But I think if you're, the Pittsburgh Steelers, it used to be the king of the North.
Yeah.
I mean, Cincinnati's got a team, Tone Diggs. Cincinnati's got a squad. They beat you last week, obviously. Cleveland's got a squad.
Absolutely.
The Ravens have an alien as a quarterback, an anomaly, who I guess his back is hurt a little bit, and they do have a machine kicking field goals, an actual machine kicking them balls, obviously there. But the AFC North, everybody's talking about AFC West, NFC West, or whatever. What if the AFC North's got some squads out here?
Yeah, it's hot in the kitchen. But the Bengals will never win with Zach Taylor as their head coach. That buffoon is never going to win.
Okay, so 4th and 1 on his own 29, up 2 scores against the Minnesota Vikings a couple weeks back whenever they inevitably get the win, but the Vikings come back, force that into overtime because of that decision. Then last night, very close down there. That was the Jacksonville Jaguars that made that decision. Not get into 3 scores, kicking the field goal or whatever.
Yep.
The aggressive decisions is why you think Zach Taylor or Urban Meyer are not going to ever win.
Well, that and his game plans are never good. I mean, why against the worst pass defense in the league, you decided to run Joe Mixon up the middle like 18 times in a row, and then hey, maybe if we just pass with Joe Burrow, this is going to work out, and then he goes over 300 and they come back and win. And but that's just when you've been a ball boy your entire career for Sean McVay, and then you get a head coaching job. What do you expect?
Okay, well, let's talk about the guy that Diggs just, executed on the air right here.
Guillotine.
Right after a win.
Biggest win of his career.
Right after a win on prime time. Unbelievable. And the guy that went into Pittsburgh and beat his team last week. But there is cause for concern going into the season on Zach Taylor's potential resume here. First year as Cincinnati head coach, he won 2-14.
Okay.
Second year in 2020 as Cincinnati Bengals head coach, he won 4-11-1.
Yep. Okay.
And then now, obviously, 3-1. How you doing? Keep it moving. Last year, Joe Burrow gets hurt. That probably changes a lot of things, especially after watching Joe Burrow, to his point, throw for over 300 and have an incredible second half whenever they kind of let the reins off that guy and let him throw it around. I mean, he probably helps it. I don't know how the team was in 2019. Let's assume it wasn't as fantastic.
Yeah, no.
I think that was whenever they cut Andy Dalton.
ran him out of town.
Yeah,
Benched him on his birthday.
Yeah. And on 2 hours after the trade deadline.
That's
Or
right.
something like that, which is also his birthday or whatever. Yeah, so that was that year. So maybe things will turn around in Cincy. But if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, this is a tough division to be staring down right now, especially in the middle of maybe some turnover, right? Maybe some turnover.
Yeah.
Not Tomlin. Obviously, Tomlin's good forever. But the offensive coordinator position, the defense is turning. I mean, there is a lot. What are you going to do with Hayden? And then, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, what's going on? Like, is everything okay in Pittsburgh, dude? I'm seeing a lot of articles still about Aaron Rodgers being Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback.
Whoa.
Is that because everybody in Pittsburgh is looking around? There's a picture. There's a picture of Aaron looking like Terry Bradshaw back in the day, rocking the Steelers 12, AR-12
Looks good.
as a Pittsburgh Steeler. That is what's going on in the city of Pittsburgh. And Yahoo articles about it now. It led off morning news and evening news. His compliment about Pittsburgh. Is that because you guys are staring around the AFC North and you're like, man, are we about to get passed in our division? Is that why this is all happening? Or
Probably
what?
not, but even if it does happen this year, the last time that they had a losing season was the year that before they drafted Benjamin Todd Roethlisberger. So if it is a losing season this year, they'll just draft someone this offseason, then they'll be 15-1 again next year like they were with Bang.
All right. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know when Benjamin
Todd Roethlisberger.
Todd Roethlisberger, when he came in, I don't know if there was
A good defense.
Baker Mayfield running with a defense over
they
there.
gonna pay him?
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who TB?
Running back for a quarterback in Baltimore.
And that's what. Hey, he's
Buffoon
great
for a
at
head-
it though.
Buffoon for a head coach
And
in
then Cincinnati. I mean, I don't know if that's when
Carson Palmer. They had the first overall pick, the Heisman winner.
Hey, Benjamin Todd Roethlisberger saw Carson Palmer going through it over there in Cincinnati, by the way, and said, "Thank God I'm in Pittsburgh."
Yeah.
And that maybe changed how Cincinnati had to operate, actually, Carson Palmer, whenever he said, "You know what? I'll fucking quit. I ain't playing here anymore. I'm done with it. Nachos, hot dogs for lunch.
Come on.
I got to go practice on a parking lot of our stadium. I'm fucking done. This is not NFL football. I will quit." And then he almost did. And then they traded him to Oakland, and then he ended up in Arizona. Had 2 careers, basically, one in Cincinnati, then one from there on. But I think that's when Cincinnati said, we got to change some things. And maybe a couple years after that, when James Harrison joined them and such, maybe that's when they stopped serving the hot dogs and sloppy joes and the nachos and the... You know what I mean? 87 octane you're putting in the Ferraris, I believe, is how James Harrison. So maybe the Carson Palmer situation did change the Cincinnati Bengals' entire organization. But I think right now the AFC North should be in a conversation of like, hey, divisions that are going to potentially go.
Bengals look good. They look good.
What's that? Is that an admission of guilt? That maybe
that.
you are worried?
I'm objective. I watch the games. They look good.
Hey, Joe Burrow looks like a player, Bob.
Missing T. Higgins, too. They got a great offense.
All right, let's get to a break. And then on the other side, we'll talk to Coach JB about college football, his bets.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I'm sure he'll say some more things that'll
Dano.
and Dan Orlovsky. Yeah. I should text Orlovsky and say, hey, the opinions, just like yours on my show. Just like when you're on my show. And just like the boys on the show.
That's right.
The opinions of others that might get retweets do not necessarily mean agreement.
Not at all.
Okay? Just because they're talking about this on the show, we like to get, other voices. That's a good part of the show, by the way. Feels like a lot of people get represented. Now, Orlovsky has done that on this show. Sure. And I do believe JB has had his eyes on Dan Orlovsky all week.
All week, quite some time now.
All year.
Quite some time now.
I mean, I think Coach JB is not necessarily as appreciative of the, hey, Nagy should be fired today.
Doesn't love that.
As Chicago Bears fans are.
Right.
Because as a coach, there's fans because the coach knows that all Orlovsky was doing what he was just doing to the Bears fans. Even though he might not have meant to do that as such, maybe he was just looking out for Justin Fields, which led to a conversation that Justin Fields should be forcing his way out of Chicago. What? We are entering week 4 of his rookie season. All right, just something to think about. So that's probably where Coach JB's at. Then we'll also ask him for his bets. Yeah, I think he did win some bets this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait to hear about it. We're back in 4 minutes, and then obviously AJ Hawk joins us in the next hour, back from his big-ass yuppie affair. We'll pick all the games. We'll talk to Ian Rappaport and Joel Battaglia.
Nice.
Guard of the Cleveland Browns. Hell of a feel-good Friday here. Be a friend, tell a friend. We'll see you in 4. Whenever you're working on golf, do you still have the same routine that you had whenever you were younger now, or is it much different? And how often do you just go down there and just hit Phil Mickelson flop shots all day? But anytime you turn one sideways and you flatten it, you're like, oh, watch this. I'm going to do like Phil Mickelson does. And then you just go out there. Normally you either blade it, hit it straight up in the air to the right, or you somehow get lucky and it goes and everybody's like, oh my God.
Incredible shot.
Phil Mickelson. That's what that is kind of become, and I remember you hit the one over your head that one time. That was a mind blower from me. Is the short game something you've always just been good at, or are you good at it because that's all you work like so much on it at all times?
When I was a kid, my dad had a little chipping area in our backyard and putting green, and so I would just go out there and hit balls because I couldn't really go to the golf course, and all I did was shots inside 30 yards. And it got very monotonous to hit the same shot over and over, so I'd go behind the avocado tree. I'd go back around the other trees and bushes and rough and so forth. And so I would get creative as a kid hitting those shots. And you kind of learn a couple of things. But what I would say, Pat, is that there's really only one way to chip effectively, because you're coming in with no coverage on the ball. You're coming in with so much loft that the leading edge is coming in first. So you have to have your weight forward. That's it. You have to have your weight forward and drive the club down into the ground. And most people, when they do that, their hands either come back or their weight comes back and the leading edge comes up and blades it. Now, you can kind of flip your hands a little bit if you have a good lie, like if the ball's sitting in the first cut or it's sitting up, but that technique will not work all the time. And so that's why I prefer and believe that the technique where you have your weight forward, your hands forward, and you drive the club down to the ground will be consistent every time. So lay that club flat, move that ball off your left toe, get that ball off your front left, there you go, and open that face flat and just drive the club down into the ground. The ball will pop up like a gem.
I think I'm a scratch golfer.
Let's go!
I think it makes sense, by the way, that your childhood was spent within 30 yards of a green. My childhood was spent kicking a soccer ball off the side of a house. Worked out for me. It's worked out for you much better.
First things first, 50-yard trash can drop into the bucket accuracy contest. Apple, set, go. You got it. You got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it.
All right, let's see how easy it is to catch now with the boys.
Time maybe to play down low.
All right, so you can throw the shit out of it and catch it. I think the XFL ball gets a big pass. By the way, I hit some bombs with it as well.
Todd.
If I say I got to go, there's this place down by the coast. Oh no, oh mama, may I? If you.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Heard the tail end, Don't Leave Me Lonely there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you heard that during the commercial break at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. Can't thank you enough for joining us. And obviously the fine folks on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Feel free to call into the show and bring some heat on this beautiful Feel Good Friday. If you want to go after me for not hitting that plus 1,600 parlay last night where we had 5 of the 6 legs Dahn, and we could have taken over $8 million from Feel Good.
Damn it.
Go ahead and do so. If you got some takes on the weekend, please join us at 1-8334 McAfee on the 5-hour energy phone line. Good through December.
All right.
All right. Joining us now is a man who found fame via Last Chance U on Netflix, although he didn't want it. He just wanted to coach him up. A champion JUCO coach, a founder of Slapdick Whiskey, Cigars, and Slapdick Podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, author, head coach, human, personality, straight out of Compton, Coach Jason Brown. Hustle, dog. Hey,
what up, dog? Hustle. You gotta hustle.
And what did you say? I didn't learn shit in high school. I'm a stone cold hustler, dog. Isn't that what you said?
I wish I could recollect. I don't remember what the fuck I said.
I assume you get in the moment, you lose your mind, and I appreciate that. It feels like you've been doing that every single Friday here with us the last few weeks. It's good news. I got a quick question for you. Let's get it out of the way. And Ty wanted to ask you about this, but I did text the guy, and we kind of teased it going into the break. Dan Orlovsky has come on this show. Dan Orlovsky, teammate of mine. Dan Orlovsky, friend of ours, obviously. We have told him in the past to his face, hey, Dan, some of the shit you're saying, you shouldn't be saying. I think that is a part of this whole give and take. You, though, have set your sights on Dan Orlovsky. Can we put our swords aside, or is that something you don't think you'll ever be able to bury with old Dan Orlovsky?
No, listen, people always want to, disagreements to me create great conversations, Pat.
Oh.
And people don't realize that shit. People all think that you're some fucking, I don't judge cats that I don't meet. like, I don't know Dan. So I think Dan's a great dude looking at him. And if you're a friend of his, I kind of weigh those things out. And I'm like, well, this guy must be not half fucking bad, right? He's probably a fun dude to kick it with. He looks like he is. He looks like he's genuine. But this is the thing, Pat, when you're a coach and you help kids out and you do these things, I've found over 20 years of coaching, the best players or ex-NFL or professional people are the worst coaches in America, and they're the easiest hires by big media companies because they're known, they have a background, they played. Like you said, they came in a few games and won a couple for the Colts, and he fucking ran out of the back of the end zone for the Lions. And he did all those things, right? So he's an easy hire, but he doesn't. He spits false information, and that's just what irks me because people make a lot of money out here, and they make a lot of money, Pat, to tell people, the novice watcher, this, and this. And then when it's wrong, the coaching world of like our coaching fraternity is looking at it like, how the fuck are you making this much money? And you're saying the wrong shit.
Okay, so you're saying that hindsight being 2020 is the easiest way to judge a coaching staff as opposed to how much actually goes into what you see on the field. Like, for instance, Zach Taylor, he was 2-14 his first year, 4-11-1 his second year, and then his third year, he's now 3-1 or whatever with a couple late game kicks to win it. And last night, obviously, they had to go through some adversity with Urban and Jacksonville. But we automatically assume, like, in the first couple of years, hey, this guy potentially stinks as a head coach. Like, this guy fucking stinks as a head coach. But we're judging strictly off of the record. You're saying that you can't really do that because there's so much shit that goes into all of this, you're saying?
No, I agree with what you're saying as well, as far as that goes. Just so you know, Zach Taylor was in my fucking office at Indy just 4 years ago. He was the OC at Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati. I don't know if you guys know Zach's background. Zach is a Kansas JUCO guy, played at Butler Community College in Kansas. So I've known Zach a while. He's came in and recruited. He goes from the Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, who loves me so much, to the Miami Dolphins. So you can't tell me this is not a who you know and who knows you business. Like, this young cat was born, I think he's born in 83 or 4. Like, I was in the streets. So, like, I'm like, dude, this is a young cat that gets surpasses so many different people that have been busting their ass as grad assistants, as different guys. And you get this job, and you're in my office as the OC all of a sudden out of fucking nowhere at the University of Cincinnati. And I'm like, well, we ain't got nobody for you right here. We start chopping it up. We knew each other prior. So we're talking, we bullshit in the office and stuff. But it's like, I turn on ESPN and you just left my office and you're the head coach of the fucking Bengals? Like, hold up, man. So it's just like, it is what it is, man. He was probably in Over the Rain somewhere in Cincinnati and met the fucking owner of the Bengals and they knew who he was and you look like a good fucking Caucasian. Let's hire you. That's how it looks like to me. But hey, it is who you know, man.
All right, let's talk about another coach who has coached at all levels. All right, I think his first year at Bowling Green, he was 8-3 or something like that. Then he was 9-3 or something like that. Then he obviously ends up at Utah. He wins there. Then he goes to Florida. Then he goes to Ohio State. I guess his last season in Florida State, he lost 5 games. Then he obviously retired for a bit. Then he goes to Ohio State, wins the Natty, does his whole thing. Now he does TV. Now he's in Jacksonville. He said he's so heartbroken after that game, JB. He's so heartbroken for the guys in the locker room. It's week 4. It's week 4 of the NFL game. He seemed like he was literally distraught off his ass. Do you believe that? Is that how Urban Meyer is? What are your thoughts on this transition into the NFL for old ball coach Urban Meyer?
Fuck no, he's not that way. And he ain't that way.
Really?
Look, let me tell you something. Urban Meyer, to me, is one of the top 5 college coaches of all time. All right? I met Urban years ago when I was coaching junior college. He was at Bowling Green. He came in to recruit a kid out here in L.A. We talked about offense for years. And we're very similar-minded in offensive philosophies and what we do offensively, innovative type of shit, right? So we talked for a long time. We knew he got the Utah job. I had a lot of buddies at Utah. I had 2 players at Utah. Then he moved on actually very quickly, right? to put Urban in this discussion of one of the greatest. See, to me, he has to win a Super Bowl to even be on Pete Carroll's level, because Pete's done both, obviously, and won multiple national titles. Now he's won a Super Bowl, been in several Super Bowls, or two at least. Should have won two. So, to me, you don't find the happy life, you make it. Urban has continued to go try to find the happy life at every place he's been, if you've noticed. Like, he earned it, in my opinion, at Bowling Green in Utah. And then he went to find the happy place at Florida. And then it got a little rough, and he had a lot of fucking baggage with all those freaks that he brought in there that ended up being, murderers, suicidal, all these different things. Yeah. Now you go to Ohio State, and you continue, to me, to find the happy life, because he's from Ohio. Hey, it's happy life, happy wife, happy life. I'm going to go to Ohio. People don't talk about it. He goes undefeated at Ohio State his first year on a probation year. They couldn't even go to a bowl game. So he wins a natty at Ohio State, and then where are you at now? You're chasing an NFL job that I think he's regretting now. But at the same time, in my opinion, you have to win there to really get it done, to be one of these coaches that are considered great.
Pete Carroll, that's an incredible take, by the way. Chasing happiness is something that a lot of people do, and I think I've maybe even been guilty of it before. And
but you made it. See, you made your life. I'm having to make my own life, even though all the fucking dick-riding haters that I have. You gotta understand. Our haters, Pat, should be appreciated more, because they're our biggest fucking fans, right? Yeah. So, you didn't just go find the happy life. You were already in the struggle. You fucking kicked soccer balls off of walls and lived in the fucking backwoods of fucking bumfuck wherever. I grew up in the concrete jungle, right? So we had to make it, though. I think a lot of people have been handed a lot of shit, and when adversity hits them in the mouth, they can't handle it. They get shell shocked.
I don't think there's any real fulfillment in the handing of it, though. And I think that is something that is apparent. And I'm not saying this about Urban Meyer. I do not know Urban Meyer's story, but I'm thinking in the overall sense of chasing happiness, I do believe there is a lack of fulfillment when people feel as if they haven't earned something. So I am excited to be where I am. We're thankful that you join us, but you thinking that, Urban Meyer is not real. That is not real what he's saying. And then also, Pete Carroll never comes up in the conversation. It's always like Saban is the greatest college coach of all time. He didn't work in the NFL. Carroll never really gets mentioned. I think it's because he started in the NFL, right? So he started in the NFL, then he went to college and went back to the NFL. Is that why you think that?
He started at UOP, University of Pacific, way out here in California. This is the thing about Pete that he doesn't understand, that people gonna get. It's a "what have you done for me" business, and it's results oriented, right? And Sark will tell you, and people will tell you. Probably Lane will tell you the head coaching rule that you could not go to high school campuses to recruit, the texting rule that you couldn't text during dead periods and different things in recruiting. Those are Pete Carroll rules, and I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you no name and blast them out, but I've had major Division I coaches and a couple NFL buddies of mine tell me Nick Saban is Nick Saban because Pete Carroll's in the NFL. Let's make sure we're not mistaken here. Pete Carroll dominated the SEC, dominated recruiting. He made it a show out here on the West Coast, which it should be. SC should be Hollywood. You got Debo, you got Snoop out practice performing. This was a fucking packed house at practice every day at SC. It was unbelievable. It's shit show now. It's so bad now it looks like a JUCO. So it's like Pete Carroll in the NFL is the reason Nick Saban. Did you guys hear about Nick Saban when Pete Carroll was coaching at SC? Let's be honest. He won one at LSU, right? He took over and won that one at LSU, right? And when SC was when Pete turned it and started to turn it. When did you hear about anybody else other than Pete Carroll for how long? You heard Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Heisman, fucking SC blowing out fucking Arkansas and Auburn and 55-0 and all this shit. You didn't hear about fucking Nick Saban. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Wow. Hey, there's going to be people down. It's different down here, especially in Alabama. They are not going to be thrilled about everything you just said. But I have never thought of that. And it's real. USC was. Oh, yeah. Now, granted, Vince Young had their run and, we had a squad as well, and LSU had a team there. Ohio State had a team for a long time, but SC was the premier. That was like all the things that happen with Nick Saban right now off the field, camera-wise, following him to his lake and everything at his house. Pete Carroll, if he was at USC still, I mean, now granted, he was cheating over there.
That's right.
He was cheating over there, JB. That's why he was cheating over there. That's the only way he was able.
Yeah, the SEC is so right by the book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me tell you this, dude. Like, if SC don't choke on a 12-point lead with 4 minutes against Texas and they hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch, Pete Carroll's a fucking legend. He's got 4 natties and 2 Super Bowls. Who the fuck has that?
Yeah, that's true. That is huge. And I would like for us in the future to put more respect on Pete Carroll's name.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Man, greatest. I'm just telling you.
Not always about just his chewing gum, okay? And not always about him pissing off Russell Wilson in the middle of the season. All right, not about every day we're competing every single day. Let's actually talk about the results that we have not talked about enough, which is everything JB just laid out. Hey, Coach JB, I know you have some bets for us this week in a college football game. I cannot wait to hear it. To be honest, other than Ole Miss, Alabama, and Cincinnati, Notre Dame, I'm not even sure who the fuck's playing who, so I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this thing.
I got upset alert tonight.
Yes!
Here we go.
Love this.
It's not going to happen.
Maryland beats Iowa at home.
Okay. All right.
Not a chance.
All right, hold on. Because your biggest...
I hear you fuckers in the back, no chance shit.
Hey, you
just watch. All right, just watch.
Hey, your biggest fan in this studio, all right? Ty, Iowa Hawkeye.
Ty.
Yeah, Ty is your biggest fan in here.
I love all you guys, man. You guys are all good dudes. You seem like some real
Coach. I love you too, Coach. All right, but at this particular moment, Ty wants to tell you to fuck off. He knew you were going to say this, actually.
Hey, disagreements become good conversation. Let's go.
Great quote. Go ahead, Ty. Though, why did you know he was going to say this? And
I just know, and I remember back when you were on Last Chance U, and I think you guys were playing Iowa Western or something, and the refs really fucked you guys over, and you basically said, like, fuck these Iowa cats. I'm done. I'm never coming back here. And you got 2 guys at Maryland, so I knew you were going to. I'm 3. I am a little worried about this game tonight. Penn State next week at home, so we'll see. I am a little bit worried.
Is this in Maryland tonight?
Yeah.
In Maryland, dog. In Baltimore. Are you going there?
Yeah, I'll be in Baltimore tonight. I won't be able to see the game, though, in College Park over there. I got a chance to play there. Pretty good. Pretty good stadium over there. Pretty good atmosphere, actually.
They take out the fucking, the goddamn, those fucking uniforms and put on some real fucking uniforms. They'd be a legitimate college football team. You got to take off the fucking picnic fucking blanket shit, man. Like, goddamn.
If they lose tonight, it's because of the uniforms. Can't wait to blame that. Here we go. All right, Maryland beats Iowa tonight. Upset alert. There
fuck. How many Iowa fucking hating on Twitter am I going to have today?
Yeah, it's going to happen. But if you're right, everybody be on your side.
Oh, yeah, you know how it is, dick riders. BYU, I got Utah State covering 9.5. I mean, Kalani Sitake, one of my best friends in the world, great dude, head coach of BYU. I think Utah State's headed in the right direction. I think it's a trap game for BYU. I think BYU wins it, but I think it's a touchdown or less.
Okay, so 9.5's good with Utah State.
Anybody gives a fuck about the Mormons in the fucking middle of Utah, I don't know. That's the game you got to watch.
Hey, the Mormon war is huge.
Oh, no doubt about it. Trust me.
This is the Mormons, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, we understand. Listen, I heard the whole story. Listen, Austin Collie, good friend of mine. I'm on your side here.
Yeah, book is crazy. And murder at the Mormon.
Bingo. We're on your guys' side. Yeah, we're on your guys' side, even though there seemed to be some questionable shit going on over there.
Yeah, all over the place.
What are you talking about?
It's crazy. We talk about Mormons and everybody's connection just goes down.
It's wild.
It's interesting how that works.
Austin Colley's going to have to call in here and clear this up from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very bummed that just disconnected.
Me too.
Hey, it sounded like he had Utah State plus 9.5. Maryland, what is the spread tonight for Maryland?
3.5. Yeah.
Really? So just out. You guys are. Maryland's getting 3.5 at home tonight against Iowa?
Yeah. Our 5 team in the nation.
That's low.
Iowa is?
Yeah.
Let's go. You guys got punter. From what I've heard.
Oh, yeah. Torrey Taylor is a absolute boot, and we need him because our quarterback stinks.
Okay, so you guys are top 5 team in the country right now.
Unbelievable defense. Unbelievable.
You guys are winning old school football. Field position with Torrey Taylor.
Yep.
Defense get some things. Hand the ball off.
Yep.
Okay, hey, a lot of people have won that way.
Wow. Tonight does seem like a little bit of a trap game. If they win tonight, and then game day will probably be in Iowa City next week. If they can get past that one, we could make the fucking playoffs.
No way.
Yeah.
Hey, well, JB, who is back, says you're not making it past Maryland tonight. What's going on? Great to have you back. We don't have time to chit-chat about what went wrong. It was probably the Mormons. Let's move along. Utah State will cover 9.5.
Yeah, I got Utah State covering. I don't know what happened, man. I had like a fucking ghetto-ass Wi-Fi service. All right, I'm on my phone now, man.
Looks good.
All right, Arkansas is going to cover 17.5 versus Georgia.
Hey, good team.
I just think that is a great – I just think that Arkansas is buying in. I think that it is a trap game for them. They can easily get blown out as well, but I think that they're bought in completely, and I think that 17.5 to me is a very tricky spread for a team that handled Texas, that handled A&M. I mean, to be honest. So – but again, I believe this is the hardest time in the era of college football, in the BCS era, to pick games because of the parity of the transfer portal and how the parity
hey,
really
don't be
is.
self-handicapping here. 17.5. You got Arkansas plus 17.5 at Georgia.
Yep. I think Baylor beats Oregon State. Oklahoma State.
Sorry, you wrote it down.
Baylor beats Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's minus 3.5. I think Baylor beats them. This is a tricky game to me. Wisconsin -2 versus Michigan. How the fuck did they come up with that one? I don't know. I think Michigan handles Wisconsin to go 5-0.
Hey.
Even though I'm not a Michigan. I think Michigan's very fucking shittily coached. I just don't think.
Yes.
I don't know.
What did Harbaugh do to you? You don't like Harbaugh?
Nah, me, Harbaugh, and Chip Kelly. We don't see eye to eye. Hey, I'll tell you off the air. There's a guy that I don't see eye to eye. Even worse, but I ain't gonna say nothing because you've had him on.
Okay. All right. Okay. Who could it be?
I got upset. Another upset. I got Mississippi State beating A&M. Mike Leach. I think A&M is very average. People don't realize they want to talk all that shit about Kevin Sumlin when he was at A&M. Him and your boy Jimbo Fisher have the exact same record after 40 games, by the way, 29-11. And they fired him, sent him on his way. They paid Jimbo fucking $10 million a year.
It seems like there's some bullshit that happens out there, huh?
People don't want to look at the truth, man. The truth don't lie. 29-11. Both fuckers are 29-11. Well, how the fuck's one get $2 million, get fired, the other one get $10 million, get hired? All right. Here's the gun. I got Louisville covering versus an undefeated Wake Forest. -7. Wake Forest is -7. I got Louisville covering that. I got LSU beating Auburn outright.
Are you picking every fucking game? Are you picking every fucking game right now? Seriously, is that happening?
Oh, I don't know. My bad. Which game you? I know you're waiting for one game, and I know the world is waiting for one game. So I'm trying to
Two.
That shit up. I'm trying to say that at the very end and get the fuck off the goddamn camera.
We're pretty close.
I got Boston College covering Clemson though, 14.5. Clemson should not be favored 14.5. And I got Ole Miss covering 14.5 versus Bama.
Okay, and Cincinnati, Notre Dame, you got that?
I got Notre Dame winning. All right.
Hey,
I got Notre Dame winning. I got another upset though. People don't want to they want to know about. K-State beats Oklahoma.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Coach JB.
Yeah!
Go! What were you going to ask, Diggs? I tried to get there. I didn't know we were picking the whole slate.
I wanted to ask about Landon Saban, so basically.
Okay, so we'll ask him about that next week after the game. What a guy.
Also, Wilbon attacking Lane.
Oh, call him back. Is he still on her? Nah. The Lane thing, we got to talk about Lane. I didn't know he's picking every single game.
I know, a lot of locks.
There's like
BC plus 14.5 over Clemson. LSU, Mississippi State is beating, and A&M. Baylor beats Oklahoma State. Maryland obviously beats Iowa. Jesus
Louisville.
Christ. Arkansas's got a team down there, 17.5 against Georgia. Hey, don't look at.
It's a $10 to win $155 million parlay.
And that is what JB does. Can't thank him enough for joining us. We're back in the next hour. I think AJ Hawk will join us. Ian Rappaport will definitely join us, and hopefully some of your phone calls. This is the Pat McAfee Show. Feel Good Friday, October 1st. Smarter than
you, I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm a better person than you are.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I fed the birds this morning, so I'm a better person than you are.
Yeah, but you don't care about, the ozone as much as I do. So do you even like to breathe? That means you don't even like the birds. You don't want the birds to be able to breathe or fly because you want the ozone to be ruined because you're a fucking asshole.
Is that right? Then how come I rollerblade to the supermarket every Saturday and Sunday?
Oh, did that make you feel good, rollerblading, flattening the earth a little bit closer to the center so it can get hotter so then the heat comes from the ozone because you're pressing down the earth with your little rollerblades?
Well, yeah, but
I'm a better person than you are.
No, because on Wednesdays I'm planting trees and I'm trying to bring the earth back to what it was.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you're cutting up other trees' roots, though. What a fucking asshole. You Why can't you just let earth be the way it's be? You got to take your shovel and dig into it? Wow. I'm a better person than you are.
I know.
Dude.
I make my own manure. I make my own soil. I'm not chopping up any other roots.
So you don't like cows. You don't like cows pooping.
I hate farmers.
Unbelievable. You hate farmers. Oh, you don't like a head of cows. You don't like burgers?
Then how come I'm in the Farmers Association of America and I'm going to help?
Oh, you're a lifetime member of the FFA. Hey,
yeah, that's right.
That's what I make. I'm a better person than you are.
No, you're not. I'm a better person than you are.
That's politics, baby. That's what we just did right there. Let's get to the phones. Once again, I think we batted 1,000.
Boom.
In politics with what we just did right there.
How about that?
I do believe after that argument, though, people would say I was a better person than fucking you are, dude.
No, because everyone I just read on Twitter was like, oh my God, this guy rollerblades. I need to start doing that too.
No, that's because you mute all the other people that are actually on my side. They're telling you you're not the right person.
No, I refuse to mute anybody because I love everybody.
Oh, you like freedom of speech. How come then you're not going to listen to
I do love freedom of speech. That's why I'm not muting anybody.
I'm better than you are.
No, I'm better than you are.
Everybody's saying it.
No.
Yeah, everybody's saying I'm a better person than you are.
I heard it.
We just did, by the way, still batting 1,000 on politics. I feel so good about it. We even got into the reaction to the punditry.
Yes.
We're batting a fucking 1,000 out there.
Every side.
The people say we're not well-rounded. We don't have depth. Did you hear what we just fucking did? Come on. Wow. Let's go to the phones, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Mike Tomlin.
Oh, man, Pat, it's an honor to be on with you, man. Thanks for having me.
You're a legend. Thank you for putting me through my workout and having the scouts actually come watch me kick at West Virginia. I don't think I've ever fully thanked you for that moment, Coach.
No, man. I've drank the McAfee Kool-Aid for a long time.
Let's get right into it. The locker room culture changed completely when I was in the league, from when I was a rookie to when I was done, and I retired after the 2016 season. Now it's even more different, I would assume, from when you came into Pittsburgh and everything like that. The dancing on the logo, the TikTok, everything like that you guys have had to experience. What is your messaging in there? How do you adapt and let players be themselves without, doing too much? Because that is a fine balance that you've been able to do, I think, in an incredible job with throughout your entire time in Pittsburgh.
I think for me, more than anything, I try to stay connected. Just getting a sense of where these guys are coming from, what's in vogue for their generation, what captures their attention, how do they learn, how do they communicate, how do they interact with each other formally and informally. And I think being a parent kind of helps me. My boys are 19 and 20, so it's not much difference between them and some of the younger guys that I deal with here. And so for me, it's just about gaining an understanding, working to stay connected. That's my general attitude, man. It's adapt or die for me. And I don't want to be one of them old crusty guys, man, that just refuses to adapt. Although I am one of those old crusty guys now.
Yeah, you are old as shit now. You know what I mean? You've been around a long time. I remember back in the day, whenever you showed up, there was a lot more, to the camera. There's a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that. Now you're just old ass man now, huh?
You know how it is. Years in this business will scar you, man. It'll settle you down.
That is classic. One of my favorite moments with you is when you would tell me every warm-up, I'm going to get you back to Pittsburgh when you're old and cheap. What's that mean? What did that mean? And should that have been taken as a smack in the mouth, like whenever you said that to me?
No, man, it was a tip of the cap, man. There's certain guys around this league that I'm really interested in, but I know I cannot afford. And you were one of them, so I was going to wait for you to physically deteriorate a little bit until you came back into my wheelhouse.
Yinzers are going to go bananas in Heinz Field this weekend. First time it could be filled up in a long time. I can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to... Oh, mama, I'm here. Oh, my life, Is that your alarm clock? Yeah, just say yes, by the way. Yeah.
It's my ringtone. It's my alarm clock.
We appreciate you, Coach T. Last question before we let you go. Why'd you let Troy Polamalu do what he fucking did to me? Why'd you let? I know you've heard of this. Why? Well, that's a short side of the field. That's bad football. You guys coaching unsound football over there in Pittsburgh? How did that happen?
We know you and love you as a man. But on Sundays in the fall, man, you're the nameless gray faces that we.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, never had a losing season, absolute legend, two-time Super Bowl champion, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah!
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. I'll tell you what, it was pretty cool. Roger Goodell gave me a big hug beforehand, too, so that's good, sir. Thank you so much. Shane, you drinking? Yeah. Cheers to you, man. That was a good one. That was good. That was I feel like it went pretty good. Oh, look at the phone.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Friday, October 1st. Feel Good Friday, October 1st. Hour 2 will begin right. Meow.
Yeah.
Have to lead off this hour with a statement of fact. Last night, we, alongside 43,000 other people, had the opportunity to potentially take $8 million plus from FanDuel Sportsbook. Last night, watching that Thursday night football game where the team from Duval traveled to Cincinnati for Thursday night football, we were so close to turning a $10 bet for people that was risk-free into $150 to $156 for every single person that bet that thing. 43,000 plus. We were able to hit Joe Mixon scoring the touchdown.
What?
We were able to hit Joe Burrow throwing for over 250 yards. He did that in just one half.
What?
We were able to hit the Cincinnati Bengals money line when Evan McPherson hit the game winner in the last second in Cincinnati to drive the Cincinnati Bengals to 3-1, coming fresh off a win in Pittsburgh. They win on Thursday night. Zach Taylor has never experienced this before. Money line was a lock. They hit that thing.
What?
Trevor Lawrence rushed for over 16.5, which was the original bet, which got moved to 18.5 whenever they made the bet. It didn't matter. He rushed for that in 2 different rushes. That guy was running for his life. And by the way, that 6'6", long-haired stallion is much better, I think, than anybody could imagine. He's going to be good in football and also much more athletic than we thought he was.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we're not talking about how athletic he is. It's good. It's like we're talking about like this, like Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence every time they play on national TV. They're more athletic than you think they are. Fast. Joe Mixon rushed for 60-plus yards. They handed him the ball a bunch of times. The only thing we couldn't get was a Jamar Chase fucking touchdown.
Fuck.
And they were feeding him.
They were throwing him the ball in key situations. He looked to be open a couple different times.
Oh, yeah.
He was single covered before the snap a few times, and I was just looking at it. I was like, oh, my God, here we go. And they would throw it to him, and somehow he wouldn't get in and get tackled somehow. And shout out to Ooze, okay, the tight end who scored 2 tuds. He made a hell of a play. Would have loved for him to get tackled about the 1 or the 4 or the 5 every single time, but he made it into the end zone. We needed him, obviously, to get Cincinnati money line. But if we're one Jamar Chase touchdown away from $8.5 million being lost from FanDuel, I think we need to keep a little bit of positivity.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I think so.
I bet all the bets individually, obviously.
Obviously, have
so
to.
I have gone into week 4 here with a 5-2 record.
Here we go.
Okay. Obviously lost the Jamar Chase touchdown bet all by itself.
Right.
Then I lost the full parlay that I bet.
Yep.
But if you do recall, in that 6-leg parlay, 5 of them hit. I went 5-2.
Good start.
I need us to fucking hit for one of these big ones, though.
It'll happen.
I would love to come out here and just juju
Oh, yeah.
on FanDuel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to be able to do that one morning. And that's going to come probably Monday morning if I had to guess.
Yeah. Bingo.
The super boost I'm bringing is about to be something that's magical.
Hell
the
yeah.
bet that we're going to put out there that it's going to get boosted higher than everybody else, and the odds are going to be so high that FanDuel is going to have to leverage bets against how much money we're going to take against it. They're going to have to remortgage the FanDuel office because of what we're going to get. Last night would have been $8.5 million, I believe. We're only going to build this thing. We're going to hit for one of these times.
Here we go.
And we have to. And I apologize for letting everybody down. I should have got 6 out of 6. I got 5 out of 6. And I thought Jamar Chase would have scored a touchdown on national television after being the number 1 overall pick for that team because Joe Burrow said it. And never try. And he just wouldn't get in the damn dirt. He wouldn't get into the paint, wouldn't get in the zone. I tried my best. I broke my own heart a couple times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I said it should have brought that one out. Didn't need it. Didn't need Jamar Chase touchdown in that thing. Could have had a 5-leg parlay, still like plus 1,200 something like that. Didn't even need it. Why did I get too greedy? That's on me. I apologize. We'll get him back next time. At Ty Schmidt, your thoughts going into week 4 here in the NFL season, and also maybe the Iowa Hawkeyes playing on Friday Night Football here.
Yeah, very excited about the Hawks tonight. A little worried, but very excited.
If Hawks lose Friday night, whole weekend ruined?
No. I mean, anything for Iowa at this point is just icing on the cake. You know, I love my Hawks, but if I would have thought they were going to be fucking, number 5 right now, I mean, we're living in a dream scenario. And then Sunday, we'll see. I mean, I got Diggs and Nick telling me all week, "Oh, the Steelers fucking suck. Big Ben sucks. We want Aaron," stuff like that. But I'm a little bit more worried
they
about that
have been saying we want Aaron.
They have quite a bit. Nick sending me pictures of Rodgers in a Steelers uniform every night before I go to sleep, that kind of stuff. But we'll see. I think it's going to be a closer game than people anticipate.
So it sounds like they're self-handicapping.
Big time.
A lot of
Well, right, and I'm not going to take a shot at him because we all do it, we all self-handicap. I'm already saying, hey, if Iowa loses tonight, it's not that big of a deal.
You are.
It's going to be a tough weekend for you, Ty, if Iowa loses tonight and then T.J. Watt breaks Aaron's collarbone on Sunday.
Whoa. What's that all about?
He's going to say that, but TJ...
What's that all about? Because Aaron Rodgers, we all know
just 13 and 17 when the Packers and Steelers played. Aaron happened to miss both years with a broken collarbone.
There's no reason to even bring that up.
Do that. I love Aaron.
No, you don't.
Can't say
and
that.
by the way, I think I will have to kick you out of the studio next time Aaron Rodgers Tuesday happens, by the way, because we don't need that type of energy out there. But I do believe T.J. Watt playing football is probably good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, there's some other things that are potentially happening that are probably good for the Steelers. But this is Aaron's first time playing Steelers in Lambeau. Never played the Steelers in Lambeau.
Exactly.
And I assume they're going to intro the offense, maybe?
This week, yep.
Yeah, maybe going to intro the offense.
Defense was last home game.
The first home game, yeah.
Yeah. So it will be.
Yeah, first home game,
Prime time.
First primetime home game, Monday Night Football. Haven't had really fans in the stands for 18 months, yeah. Introduced the defense, obviously. That wasn't a decision that was made for any reasons, right? There was no reasons for that decision to be made.
But maybe they were just looking ahead and say, hey, we want Raj coming out of the tunnel first when the Steelers come to town.
Oh, okay. Is that right? You think they were not thinking about the divisional game?
I doubt it, but, we'll see. And they're talking about Rodgers getting hurt. What are you going to do when, T.J. Watt comes around the edge and Billy Turner squeezes his sack and aggravates that hurt groin and he's out for the rest of the game?
Anybody thinking about that?
Don't say they, by the way. That was Nick. That was all Nick.
The Wisconsin crowd is not going to take kindly to T.J. Watt getting harassed like that.
Yeah, because T.J. Watt is a Wisconsin hero. People were actually thinking that J.J. Watt might go back to the Green Bay Packers for a hometown discount. Turns out he got paid more than anybody else and went to Arizona. Went to the desert. But that is a big-time game this week and not being talked about because it's being overshadowed, obviously, by the Sunday Night Football affair of Bill versus Brady, Bucks versus Patriots, Gronky back in Foxborough-y. How we doing? Keep it moving. I think we should put a spite same-game parlay together for that one. Gronk, anytime touchdown scorer, probably two-time touchdown scorer. Now that he's back practicing. He's been out the last couple of days. He's practicing today. I think it was his back.
Ribs.
Sorry about that. The back was Lamar Jackson, who I guess he is okay. He's back. Aaron Rodgers had a neck, was not reported by anybody, but I don't think he's missed any practice at all. We are getting into the NFL where people are going to be hurt, but Gronk is back at practice with his ribs, which is good news because if it was the back, that was what happened before. He's so big. He runs so fast. There are big-time fucking collisions that happened with Rob Gronkowski, but there was no way he was going to miss this game. Also, outside linebacker Jason Pierre-Paul is back practicing on this fast feel-good Friday. Gronk missed Wednesday and Thursday, while this is Pierre's first day back since Jason Pierre-Paul since September 15th. So, boys are ready. The boys are buzzing. The boys are going into Billstown.
and hopefully going to blow him the fuck out. And as a Patriots fan, I heard you yesterday talk about a road to victory. Have you thought about that more? Have you gotten to the point where you're not as, Monday and Tuesday was tough with you. It was tough around you.
Yeah.
And I assume it was tough for you.
Yeah,
being
Wednesday
you.
as well.
But you have kind of turned this thing around, right? You see a vision for victory now for Bill Belichick. You know that he knows that Tom coming back to town is going to be talked about forever, and everybody's going to say, well, Tom won all those games. He beat the fuck out of Bill the first time he went back to Foxborough. But now you have laid out a vision on how the team can win. You feel good about that, or is most of New England still staring down self-handicap and we're going to get beat by 50?
No, I definitely don't have a vision to win. I have a vision to keep it close, perhaps, but hearing that those two guys are back in practice isn't great. Judon had a press conference yesterday, and it sure seems the players are kind of pissed in New England just because it is strictly Bill Brady and no one really talking about who's on the team, which is obviously understandable. But hopefully, they come out with a little chip on their shoulder, a little pissed off, a little ticked off football. I'd love to see that.
See, here is the vast difference between being a stud pass rusher like Judon and the punter of the team, which is where I resided. Now, Judon did once tell me he was going to put a beam on me, and I think we've gotten past that because I have incredible respect for the way Judon plays football. But as a punter, I was pumped to be a part of the team when Andrew had to play against Peyton. Yeah. I was pumped to be a part of it. Now, this is a much different scenario. Okay, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, nowhere near the same as Bill versus Tom. This is a much different legacy conversation happening. I understand that completely, but I was pumped that it was hey, Luck, Peyton. This is what's going on. I was excited to be a part of it. And to be clear, there wasn't really much I was going to be able to do about it if we were going to win that game. Now, I did pin Peyton 6 times inside zone 20, punted 9 times or 8 times in one game or whatever. I had a pretty big one. I had a nice little tackle in there and, had a pretty good game. But I was pumped about it. And I assume Judon feels the same exact way, but also there's a lot of other things that have to happen on the field that Tom isn't going to do and Bill ain't ever going to do that are going to decide the outcome of this whole conversation. That's probably what Judon was saying, if I had to guess.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully, too, Mac Jones, I know I saw Stephen A. Smith talk about how Mac Jones didn't say Tom Brady's name one time in his press conference, and he was upset that he wouldn't acknowledge him a la Roman
Stephen
Reigns.
was pissed about that?
Yeah, he was very upset about it, but I kind of like it more. Hey, it's Mac Jones' team now. It's been 2 years since Brady's been in there, so.
Should we hold Stephen A. Smith accountable for my name being spelled wrong on his show?
100%. I'm holding them all accountable.
I don't think so.
I'm holding them all accountable.
I tweeted Stephen with a V because that was just that was open Sicilian.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That was just hey, we're doing this. Hey, this is just a funny little moment. But I don't think Stephen A's the one that we should be blaming over here. Maybe it is his show.
Yeah, exactly. He's the face of it. He's the one, kicking guys off if he doesn't like them. Hey, that's his words, not mine.
No, he didn't say. He just said we weren't working. It's not you, it's us.
And Kellerman disagreed with him.
Oh, did he? I didn't hear the rest of that conversation.
Max did not agree with me, but
when they said the ratings were going down a little bit, the ratings had gone back up. So I guess executive Stephen A. is maybe the right decision. But that has been fascinating to watch it be covered because Stephen has taken that. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did. So what? Yeah. That's basically what he did. And I appreciate that because in a lot of cases, a lot of people would say, no, it was a decision made by this and that. I appreciate the fact that he has done that because now he's taking ownership of the show in which my name was spelled wrong. So that is why.
Exactly.
I think you are potentially saying, yeah, we do blame him, although I don't think so. There's so many people working over
there. So I blame all of them. And also, of course, the ratings went up. They got Timmy Tebow on Fridays. How could the ratings not go up?
Hey, they took the signs away from behind Tim Tebow, or maybe just no fans came this particular week.
I'm guessing no fans allowed.
Big time security.
Because there was people walking by on the path. It just looked.
Keep it moving. Hey, how you doing? Keep it fucking moving.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a how you doing? Keep it moving set. All right? None of your little Tebow jokes.
Nuh-uh.
Don't need them.
We don't need them, okay? He's trying to do first take around here. I thought that was going to become something that was going to become
It would have been sweet if it would have.
But you got to understand how Tim Tebow probably doesn't necessarily want that just right over his shoulder that I stink at everything.
Well, sack up, Tim.
Whoa.
This is the SEC, pal. You've been dealing with people talking shit to you for the whole time. And then you went and played baseball. You fly balls bouncing off your head and shit like that. I mean, sack up, pal. It's okay. Some people are going to ruffle your feathers a little bit.
All right. I do believe that it made the show much more optically pleasing for us.
Sweet. It's funny.
I mean, we were enjoying it. Anytime there's a good sign game, I can't help but respect
it.
Especially that Mark guy in Columbus. I appreciate a good sign.
Thank you, Mark.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, Mark was bad?
No. Mark's a fan of the show. He's probably a good guy, but probably likes you if I had to guess. He's not a fan of mine.
I can assure you he does not like me.
All right, probably, but he didn't like me either, if it means anything. Joining us now is a guy that we all like.
Oh.
Yeah, this guy refused to answer our call whenever he was live on NFL Network yesterday for whatever reason, but it is amazing to have him today, and I may or may not have forgotten completely about a weekly segment that we, have really gotten into these days. On Thursdays, it's normally the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends. Completely forgot to text him and ask him if he wanted to continue to do that. He did his entire job. We fucked up completely, but to make up for that, a delayed weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends. Ladies and gentlemen of the NFL Network and NFL.com, Ian Rappaport. What's up, dude? Hey, sorry about yesterday, man. Completely forgot you existed. What's that all about?
Honestly, hurtful. I want to say one thing first. So I'm wearing AirPods, as I always do. They're not connected to the Bluetooth, so this is just a fashion statement. Can you guys hear me okay?
You do sound good, yeah. And I feel like a lot of you TV people do that, by the way. There's been a new trend of one AirPod in.
Yeah.
And I like, do they have a producer in one ear in their AirPod that is attached somewhere? That's incredible if that's the case. You do look cool, though. Those aren't the new ones, I don't think, but you do look cool.
No, these are the pros. These are the ones where I have noise canceling, so someone could come in here, and even if I'm not on the, like, let's say my lovely wife, who I love very much, comes in here with some, like, nonsense to talk about, I can be like, and then I can't hear. They're noise canceling. What am I going to do? I'm not going to take them out, so I just can't hear you.
Hey, and Apple's been doing the marketing for you that is a legit excuse. They've been pumping hard that these are the most noise canceling devices in the history of noise canceling devices. So whenever she comes in your words, with nonsense, when my wife would come in with incredibly meaningful conversation about something I'm not normally interested in, if I have those in, I think she understands as well. You know what I mean? You're a terrible husband, by the way. I just realized.
No, my wife doesn't. I'm saying other wives have nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Smart.
always very important stuff. That's intellectually challenging and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, things that matter in the world as opposed to what we normally drum in, which is strictly football. Hey, let's talk about a little football, Ian Rappaport. This week, Gronk and Jason Pierre-Paul have returned to practice today. That's massive news for the Sunday Night Football affair. Was that ever in question that they weren't going to be back? I assumed that Gronk was never going to miss this game. I might have been wrong, though. Was there a question at all?
No, I think Gronk was always going to play. And, he took a really, really hard shot kind of right to the side, which you worry about ribs and then you worry about some other internal stuff. Gronk returned to the game. Usually that's a good sign. And, Bruce Arians said after the game it was all negative, so that's good. He was definitely going to play. JPP, I'm not so sure about because he missed all of last week. It's just one Friday practice. You don't do a lot. And it's a shoulder that's kind of dealing with some weakness. So maybe he's going to play, but I'm not so sure about that one yet. To miss a week and then only come back Friday and then play Sunday is pretty challenging. But he's also kind of a different dude, so he might just be like, biggest regular season game of the season. I'm just going to, put some dirt on it and play. Like, he's that type of guy, so we'll kind of see about his status.
I heard one coach actually tell a player, spit on it and put a Band-Aid. What are you going to the fucking trainer for? In the NFL. That was awesome. I've never heard something as savage as that at a level that I never thought I would hear it, but he literally told him to spit on it. He was 100% serious, by the way. And
did the guy play or no?
No, the guy actually went to the trainer, and it turned out he had like a broken something. Or yeah, he was in a bad spot. But the coach wanted him to play, and everybody understands how the coaches feel. You got to do what you got to do. It's football. That game being the biggest regular season game of the season, I think this is a game that's going to be talked about forever, right? This is a game that's going to be talked about forever. I think everybody knows that. I think the marketing behind it by Sunday Night Football has been fucking unbelievable. That hello video has caused us to sing to Connor a couple different times. I mean, it is massive. How is the league view? What are the conversations happening behind the closed doors about this? I guess ticket prices are like $1,300, $1,200 a pop to get in there right now. Has the league talked about this? Are they excited about this? What is your feeling around the league?
So, a lot of what I do on Thursday, Friday is to try to come up with stories for Sunday. So I call around the league, I talk to the coaches I know, GMs, all that. Almost everyone has asked about, what do you think of Sunday night? Like, everyone. And not that anyone has any, like, scoop or whatever, not that anyone says, oh, I heard this. They just want to talk about it. We haven't seen a regular season game like this in, I think, a long time. Maybe the only other one that I can kind of think of in recent memory was that Rams-Chiefs game that was, remember, it was supposed to be in Mexico, then it was like a scoring fest. It was awesome.
Yeah, me and Foxy were there.
Yeah, we went to that.
Yeah, we were at that game on the sideline.
Wow.
No big deal. Yeah, don't worry about
Look
it.
at you guys. Do you just went as fans?
No. Media.
Wearing a jersey? Which jersey are you wearing?
No, I was on the sideline.
Yeah.
People wearing jerseys were coming to say hello to me.
You met Ric Flair.
Woo! Which,
Wow.
yeah.
Now,
a lot has come out. A lot has come out. Yeah,
about
Foxy.
that?
I mean, Jesus Christ. But Ric Flair was there. Travis Kelce also there.
Yes.
That was the first time me and Travis Kelce had talked to each other in person. Johnny Hecker as well, the entire ESPN. I think I met Randy Moss that night as well. I mean, of course, your fucking Michigan brain would go dirtbag. What a scumbag. Anyways, geez Louise. Anyways, with that being said,
No, so this is one that I think everyone just like wants to talk about and wants to like analyze. And it's not just the, is Brady and Belichick going to have a handshake at the end? Like, I'm sure they will. The relationship was like, they're never best friends. They have never been best friends. But it was like the most successful professional relationship in the history of sports. So like, I am sure they're going to have one of those hugs or the handshake that turns into a hug, kind of like, and then the cameras will be around, and I'm sure it'll all be fine. But I'm really curious about, like, Belichick has prepared for 20 years with Tom Brady. You know that if there's one person that knows how to beat him, it's Belichick. So, like, what is he going to do? What's the game plan going to be like? Like, how is he going to take everything he learned in those one-on-one Tuesday meetings with Brady and put it on the field? Like, that's what I'm excited about.
you know what I love most is just your, propaganda towards the NFL at all times. Bill Belichick prepared with Tom Brady for 20 years. So what will Tom Brady do against Bill Belichick's defense is how I would like to view that. You're excited to see, obviously, what the Patriots will do against the player or whatever. I'm excited to see what the player is going to do to the team. That's what I'm pumped up about.
I think the difference here is, I don't know if you've heard this, but a lot of times what coaches say is that defense wins championships. Being someone who would like to win a championship, more of a defense-oriented guy, so that's kind of the prism through which I see it. You obviously...
No.
You like to score points, which in the regular season, that's fine.
Yeah, and I think people would say, when we think of Ian Rappaport, we think championship mentality.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
I think that's
agree.
what a lot of people think. They think championship mentality.
Yeah.
That is absolutely the case. Around the league, have they given opinions on, they think, because it feels like the Buccaneers team is, a couple levels ahead of what this Patriots team is. Is everybody assuming it's going to be a close game that you're talking to around the league, trying to get information out of, but all they want to talk about is Sunday Night Football, which is fascinating? What teams are these? Is this Frank Reich? He needs to be focusing on the fucking Colts. I don't need him worried about Sunday Night Football. But the conversations you're having, how do they think it pans out? And for instance, me as a former player, I would like to see Tom go in there and potentially win by 50. And that's no offense to the Patriots or anything, just as the player who has always wanted his say to matter, and then he gets it down in Tampa, wins the Super Bowl, now he's going back in there, kind of took a stand, right? This is just like Aaron Rodgers with Randall Cobb, kind of took a stand. I would like to see him go in there and win by 50. Is that how the entire league thinks, or does everybody think that, like you, Bill is going to have some sweet shit to potentially run against Tom?
I think a lot of people think it's going to be Bucks by a lot. I don't. I think it's going to be low-scoring, defensive
championship mentality.
Chess and whatever. But most people who are smarter at football than me think it's going to be Bucks by a lot, which would be interesting because then it's like it brings a whole other new stuff. And like, let's just say the Bucks are up by 20 in the fourth quarter. They keep going. They keep throwing.
Yes.
Pour it on. Like, it brings up a lot of questions.
You know who the head coach is? Bruce Arians. You know what Bruce Arians did to the Chicago Bears when he was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals because the Chicago Bears decided not to hire him and they brought in a Canadian coach? It was fourth quarter. They were up 24 and fuck it. We are throwing the deep ball to Larry Fitz with Carson Palmer. I think they did it like 3 straight plays and either scored or had to punt and still was going for it. It's just like with BA down there and with Tom, with that entire coaching staff, they're going in there to try to win by 60, which makes me even more believe that Bill has to know that. Like, Bill has to know that that's what's coming in, and he's greatest coach and greatest GM of all time. Let's assume he's ready. Let's talk about another place maybe won't be remembered as greatest coach and greatest GM of all time, or maybe, not 100% sure. Nagy and Pace in Chicago. Okay, this entire conversation around Fields, Dalton, now Foles, I think, is even in the conversation piece. The Arlington Heights thing is happening. That is 2033, allegedly. There's a lot going around. People are are calling for Nagy's job on television.
Whoa.
Fans are calling for Nagy's job. Who knows? They averaged 1 yard, I think, passing the last week. What is going on in Chicago? Is there any rumblings on any massive changes potentially coming there?
Yeah, I would say all of that is kind of the landscape here in Chicago, and it's wild because like the record is not bad. They've been to the playoffs. They've been deep in the playoffs. Their record is really, if you just only looked at the record, it's pretty good. But it's almost like they get zero credit for the last 4 years because the quarterback situation didn't pan out. And then, everyone's excited about Justin Fields. Then he plays and he's not ready, which the Bears kind of told us he wasn't ready. Even though they love him, they think Andy Dalton is the better quarterback right now to be ready for this football team. So it's not like a total surprise that Fields didn't look great. I think most people are frustrated with just the game plan, not getting him outside the tackle box, not letting him run, like just play to your player's strengths. So that's why, like this week, yes, like the rain is coming down on the Bears.
Right, hard.
People are wondering about the job status of everyone there. So how do they adjust? Like, is it going to be a different play caller? Is Bill Lazor going to come in and call the plays? Does Andy Dalton, who's, that bone bruise is not nothing. It's probably like a 1 to 3 week injury. So in my head, I thought he would miss 2 weeks. Does he come back a little early just to like solidify things and kind of try to get a win when they need it? Like, for a team that should be in a better position, this is a precarious one for the Bears. And I would also say this, like everyone talks about how rookie quarterbacks give like under fire GMs and coaches legs. They give them a little extra rope. I'm not so sure that would work in this case. Like, it looks
there's a piece of news.
There.
There's a piece of news. There's a piece of news right there. Because we thought once they were able to trade future picks away for a quarterback, that must have meant that they were good. They were comfortable no matter what. For the reasoning that you just said about the extra leash, you're able to trade some of the future for what we got right now. We know it's going to be a process. But you said it doesn't feel like that's the case. If they stink, they stink. They could potentially be out, even though they jeopardize the future with some of their picks.
Well, I think it was an organizational decision to trade for Justin Fields. Like, I know that before they actually did it, they met with, McCaskies and like all the higher ups to just discuss like what would happen if we got a chance.
That's right.
So it was more of an organizational decision because like, let's say everything collapses. Let's say there is a new coach next year. Whoever it is going to be hired to coach Justin Fields. Like, he is the quarterback of the future regardless. Now, you hope that it's Nagy and Pace. They certainly hope it is Nagy and Pace.
Yeah.
But if it is not, then whoever's hired is going to be for Fields to develop Justin Fields and build around him.
Okay, so we're drafting quarterback that future coach and GM will have to like no matter what. Like, that is a fascinating decision. Who knows if it's going to work out? Justin Fields has proven at Ohio State he's an immense talent. Will he be able to do the same thing in the NFL? We hope so. Last story here that I would like to ask about before the boys have some questions. We can't thank you enough for joining us. Old weekly wrap up with Rap Sheet and some of his friends.
Yeah. Woo!
Jay Glazer, OG in the Insider Game. He actually hung up his cowboy hat on the day-to-day inside breaking stuff and just only does Fox NFL Sunday. And Jay Glazer, good friend of ours, hashtag JNew. You've been on this very early talking about how Deshaun Watson, there are still people that are looking to trade for Deshaun Watson, even though there is 22 incredibly serious allegations happening outside the world of football. There's still conversations happening within the football world because he wanted out of Houston or whatever from the beginning. He came out and said that although the Houston Texans maybe were once not answering the phone whenever trades were happening or calls were happening, he said now they're open for business. They are looking to. Is a team going to trade for Deshaun Watson? Is that team going to be the Miami Dolphins or one of these other teams? And how does it look off the field with very serious allegations for him to actually play this year if a team was to trade for him?
Well, a couple of things. First, like the Texans have been open to trading him. Like, I don't think, really ever since probably early on in training camp, like they had conversations. They had conversations with multiple teams. Like, they have been open to trading Deshaun Watson. This has really been about price. And, the timing is interesting because, like, could a trade happen soon? Could a trade happen by the trade deadline? All possible. A lot of times these trades need a trigger, like something to make it happen. Like, that's why trades obviously happen around the trade deadline, because if you don't trade from now, you just can't. So I don't know what would be the trigger right now. Is it something legal? Is it something that the Texans just say enough is enough? Is it something like, let's say, is it the Dolphins? Is it, whoever?
Whoa, who's whoever?
I mean, I would say, the teams that have been rumored were, the Dolphins and the Panthers, who seem to be doing fine. The Broncos, I know, it's still in the market for a quarterback and probably still will be next year, potentially, unless Bridgewater is the quarterback of the future. Like, those were the teams kind of in the mix there. So, I would say the Texans have been open for business. It's really just a matter of what pushes it over the edge, and do they get the price? I mean, it is going to be expensive.
Still, and even with everything off the field still up in flux, it's still going to be expensive.
Well, I mean, there is a possibility that if you trade for him, he ends up getting suspended. There's also the possibility that
goes to jail forever.
The criminal situation escalates and something worse happens. Whoever trades for him has to do enough research and feel comfortable with the player that they are getting and the results of this situation. Like that, the legal part of it, knowing exactly everything that you could know, is definitely a part of potentially trading for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it's not just the player, right? It's the human, and everything that's going on in the human life of Deshaun Watson is very serious.
And this is not trading for a tackle. This is not trading for a corner. Like, this is a quarterback who is the face of your franchise. So if a team is going to trade for him, they have to be extremely comfortable with the person, everything off the field and everything on the field.
Go ahead, Ty.
Rap sheet, in terms of Packers-Steelers on Sunday, earlier in the week, a lot of guys were on the injury report. Have you heard anything about who's expected to play? Like, are we going to have pretty much a full stable on both teams out there on Sunday?
So I think Juju is on the list for the Steelers. I think he's got a pretty good chance to play. He's got bruised ribs, nothing fractured. All scans were fine. I think Juju probably is okay. I think TJ Watt was a full participant Wednesday, so he's probably back. I'm going to be interested if Elton Jenkins plays. I mean, it's amazing. Like, I reported on a third-string left tackle starting for the Packers on game day morning and literally mispronounced his name on air because, one, I'm an idiot. But two, I had never heard of this person before he actually was going to start. That's what they went into it. So if Elton Jenkins can play, I'd say that's probably massive. That's the biggest injury concern there for the Packers.
The G is silent. The G is silent, dude. You just tried to say it wrong again.
Did I mispronounced two backup left tackles' names?
Yeah, well,
the first one was I cannot even remember. It's Naima, I believe, is.
How about Bobby Okereke?
Yeah, I watched that clip on the old internet the other day. And not saying it's your fault, but you basically ruined his name for the rest of his life.
Whoa. AJ Hawk told me he called a Stanford game when he was in college, and they had on the phonetic spelling on his card that he was given to by the Stanford team, it said Okereke. And I want to let everybody know that the NFL, the company that you work for, the company that I once worked for, they gave me a card, an index card that says with the whatever number picked it is. And then they even walked me through the phonetic spelling, so much so that I thought the person was talking to me as if I was a child. I said it again on stage as hey, stop fucking talking to me like I'm an idiot. That's the only reason why I ran it back, is because the conversation that literally just had happened beforehand where they were like talking to me like I couldn't read, which, although I have never read a book, I get it. I read a lot of tweets all day, goddammit. I can get that whole thing. But and I think this has happened over the last couple of years. I believe it has changed over the last couple of years, but definitely felt terrible when the announcer for the Colts game came on and was like, we are pronouncing it how we were told to pronounce it. Any other pronunciation you've heard has been wrong. And everybody just start getting tweets like, boom, boom. Yeah, 100%. So I feel terrible about it. But I believe it has changed recently.
I think this is kind of a new thing. Like, players now feel empowered to be like, hey, by the way, that name you've been saying for 5 years, it's actually wrong. Didn't a
name that's been Americanized, by the way, I think is the. I think that's the statement.
Right. Like,
yeah.
Jason Owe became Adefe Owe and then had like 10 sacks in a couple of games, so you should call him whatever he wants.
Well, and I thought about
that anyway.
I thought about changing my name to Phuck, my last name, Pat Fuck.
Ooh.
because
People call you that anyway, though.
Well, agreed. So I was just hoping that Joe Buck or Troy would have to say it one time.
Yes.
Pat Fuck comes in, and it was just going to my jerseys. Think about how good my jerseys would have done. Fuck one, dude. Oh my God.
Would that have gotten banned? At the NFL store, that would get banned. But if that was actually your name, would that get banned?
Well,
Would you be allowed to wear it?
Can't ban it. What does that even mean? The NFL doesn't allow my family to participate? What type of thing is this? You know what I mean? If that was my actual name. But obviously, much different name change for me than Bobby Okereke. And I'm incredibly proud of Okereke. Sorry about that. Incredible. That's her. I was fucking it up all over again. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Rap, she's speaking to ruin people for the rest of their lives. Can we expect a lawsuit to be filed by Andrew Siciliano now that the NFL Network is openly shaming him for how much shorter he is than Joe Thomas?
I haven't heard anything definitive on a possible lawsuit. No one I've talked to has ruled it out. I will say I do like how he goes on the road for Thursday Night Football and gets to sit next to every, guest or reporter or whatever. It's a good system because then he can adjust the height of his chair. He's never going to be as tall as Joe Thomas, obviously, nor am I. But at least he can kind of make it seem like he's kind of up there.
Yeah, and I think the problem that we had was when you guys finally put him on a box, on a chest almost. You put him on a little bit of a stepping stool, a ladder, a chair. You guys finally did that, and then you zoomed out and showed everybody, like, hey, Nah, he is still that tiny little guy that you guys know and love. And you were actually on TV with him yesterday when we called you. If you would have answered, I would have immediately apologized for everything that NFL Network has done to him. But I do believe we're taking strides to go forward. You guys finally put him on the same plane. Yeah, that's us when we called you yesterday, by the way.
There you go.
And we ran it back. You were on TV. We watch it every day, man. We watch you out there every day. That's why we know Siciliano has been treated so poorly.
Yeah, I know. On the bottom left TV. I got you.
Yeah. You might have moved. No, soccer was in the bottom left.
Bottom middle now.
Like you said, that is your seat, the bottom left TV. So
Soccer was on there for a little bit. You actually got bumped there for a second, but you're back on there. What is the big news going on out of your Twitter today? Because literally, last 3 weeks we've done this on Thursdays, not on Fridays. You have left this show, went right to your phone, kept your little noise cancellation AirPods in your ears, and tweeted some massive news.
Yep.
What should we look forward to here the next hour or so out of Ian Rappaport? What is some news that's going to devastate our weekend in gambling? Is there anything coming?
Fridays are usually about who's in and who's out. So I hope to learn some things. Like Lamar Jackson back at practice today. Didn't have the it wasn't the stomach issues of a couple weeks ago, which I believe we broke on the show. It was actually general back soreness, so I think he's fine. He's probably going to play. Bruce Arians says Gronk is a game time decision. Maybe, but I would expect him to play as well.
Jeez.
We'll see. Well, maybe we'll come up with something a little later today just to, spice it up a little bit.
Oh, so you do make up bullshit so you can stay relevant in the news-breaking world. Thought so.
Like
so you can make our job worse, so we have to cover Fugazi stories. No, Fugazi stories. The Fugazi ones we have to cover. We feel terrible about it as soon as our mouths open to talk about it.
Do you?
That
doesn't seem right.
Well, it depends on how much shit there is to talk about in the real world. That's happening in the real world. Tone Diggs, go ahead, pal, for Rappaport.
Ian, what are the chances Ben Roethlisberger makes it through the season with Pittsburgh Steelers?
And what are the chances Aaron Rodgers becomes quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers next year? Because all of Pittsburgh has that on the news every single day because of our show on Tuesday.
I was going to say, that was a really hilarious kind of thing that came out of the show. Like, that should be one of the things because, Rodgers obviously is going to say nice things about everyone he's playing because nobody wants to have the target on their back. Like, it should be a weekly, where's Aaron Rodgers going to go next season? I mean, now, the Steelers do probably need a quarterback next year and maybe don't have the heir apparent, so, that would at least make some sense.
That's true.
But I enjoyed that speculation that came out of that. I thought that was kind of fun.
Is Roethlisberger healthy, though?
He's not healthy. No, I mean he's got a left pec strain, which is definitely not nothing. I mean I know it's left side and everyone's kind of like Ben always plays. He's in a lot of pain when he throws, So I'm not going to go pretend he's healthy. I think he's going to play, and you hope to run the ball a little better. The thought there is it starts with the offensive line, as a lot of times it does. So if they can get the O-line a little better, then the offense will start working better. I'm not worried about Ben because he's been dinged up forever. I think it's more of a a thing of them figuring out what he can do arm strength wise and then kind of going forward with that. I think they're going to be okay.
Last question going forward, another quarterback that hates being healthy. Carson Wentz now only has one sprained ankle. He has moved past the lower ankle sprain on his left foot. Now it is just the high ankle sprain on his right foot. So now 2 sprains has become when to become one. What does that mean for the Colts that are staring down a potential 0-4 start that is nowhere near how they could have expected this thing to be going at this moment?
Yeah, I mean, he's still not. He's probably going to play. He's still not healthy, and going from 2 sprains to 1 sprain is good because it's 1 less sprain. But I think for Carson, the main thing is just got to get rid of the ball, got to unload it, got to see it faster. And that was, I think he's going to be, physically good enough to play. But how can he function just mentally? Can he get rid of it fast enough? Because he's not going to be able to run now. He's not. How well can he escape? I'm not sure that part of his game is there right now, just because of the health concerns. So I'll be curious to see if they pressure him a lot, and how he responds to that. 0-4 would be for a team that
devastating. Okay, thank you. All right.
Bad.
Yeah, it'd be
Very,
devastating.
very
All right, we'll keep an eye on your Twitter account and on NFL Network. Can't thank you enough for joining us. What a game last night, by the way, for the NFL Network. That was a good game last night. Congrats
Two
to
ballers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jamar Chase scores a touchdown, much fucking better, obviously. But sure. I mean, it was a great night for. Yeah, you did see that. Did you dance on my grave a little bit too? You celebrated that he didn't hit that or no?
I empathized.
Good guy. Champions mindset, ladies and gentlemen. Ian Rappaport. And we missed him yesterday.
Yeah, we did. He's awesome.
Is he?
Yeah. Sometimes.
No? Yes.
Him talking about how because he was like, I can't wait to see what Bill Belichick does to Tom Brady. That's why you're
also saying. A New England reporter before he became a big national insider.
So he's a Patriots fan deep down inside. Not allowed to basically say it much, but he is.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why he said, so he's probably feeling a little bit torn on this entire thing. He's probably kept himself busy with news and information from everywhere. But like he said yesterday, I'm trying to get information from these people, and all they want to talk about is the fucking Patriots Tom Brady game.
And all they want to talk about is how they think that Brady's going to blow them out, which doesn't, favor too well for us.
Does that make you feel better or worse?
Way worse.
Way worse?
Yeah, the people in the league, who know how players think and how coaches think, thinking that Brady's going to blow them out, which, we've been saying all week. Yeah, it makes it much worse.
But also remember that there are some people in the NFL that aren't like prognosticators.
Sure.
They're not predictors. They have no idea what's going to happen. They can just get their team prepared. So maybe nobody has a clue because they've been focusing on their team so much. They're just thinking roster-wise should go in there. I don't think you should lose hope, man. Now, it might be dog walking.
Could be. I've been fully expecting from the minute that Saints-Pats game was over that, okay, this next game we're going to lose by 5 touchdowns.
Well, and speaking of the Minutemen, that shoot the thing.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
What if after like Gronk's 4th touchdown, he takes the ball and he just throws it right at their face and then picks it up and hits the next one for all those gunshots that they do every single game. And then when they start singing while they're jogging off, "This is our house, always has been." What if that happened? What if it's like a disrespectful Sunday in Foxborough?
What if the Minutemen after Gronk's first touchdown just decide, you know what, fuck it, let's aim a little low, boys, and shoot this guy right in the leg and take him out for the rest of the game?
Thanks God you said leg. I thought you were going to say head.
No.
We're back in 4 minutes.
No.
I'm happy.
Flesh wound.
Yeah, it's good. Merely. We're back in 4 minutes. We'll answer some phone calls on the 5-hour Energy phone line. 1-833-4-McAfee. Let's enjoy this Feel Good Friday. Cheers. We have no idea how to do the subway system, but Zeke is doing the directing, the mapping, the planning.
Well, my tower is in 10 minutes. That train should be ready. He knew his shit. He said it's going that way. This is Zito guided tour. We're not going to get a spot on the train. We should get on an Uber.
This was a bad idea.
This is a bad decision.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this is going to be interesting.
Are we on the right way to Yankee Stadium right now? To the Bronx.
I don't like that hesitancy.
Stand clear. clear of the closing doors, please.
New York it's a bit much. There's shit everywhere. It smells like shit. There's a lot of people, but it's a hell of an industry out here, you know.
Thank you so much.
Hey, let's go now, Yanks. What do we say now, Kanaki?
Yeah. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. Underrated, we the underdogs, underestimated. We the one. Out of the darkness I rose up. Golden my soul, it's a gold rush. Yeah. Honor and freedom, my toes up. Kicking game on the snare drum. Right on the beat, let it bleed out like sacrifices. Cut it open, emotions. Spilling like oil and coasting. Therapy for my mental, I'm pinning a pistol and shoot down the criticisms. Individually, I heard the voices that told us. Yeah. No dirt on my name and wish me the worst and stole us. Yeah. Shot through the heart and pray on my downfall. But Yahtzee prevailed on my own. Stand on top of the it was salami time. On my chest like Olympic gold. Rap it smooth on the floor like a jazz song. Witness greatness, look up in LeBron home. Remember next time for you doubt us. That only made me go.
How are ya? I'm Roman, a men's health brand that can dance very well and make you the best you possible. Are you suffering from male pattern baldness? Dahn, we got something for that. Herpes. See ya. Premature ejaculation, gone. No more coming too quick. Allergies as well. And that's not all. We have clinically tested supplements for everything, including erectile dysfunction. Come on! Bye-bye! GetRoman.com/Pat. Be the best you possible.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
There's a lot to look forward to this weekend, but do not forget to have a screen ready for the YellaWood 500 in Talladega, 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Sunday on NBC. The playoff field in the NASCAR Cup Series is down to 12 drivers heading into the biggest. Look at it, make it a turn one, make it a left turn. 24 car seems to be clean. Look at the old rainbow car, turn around, turn 3, down the home stretch for the YellaWood 500.
Shout out Will Byron.
12 drivers are heading into the biggest wild card race of the season. Talladega raised a whiskey in my. Here's the slowing down. Something fast.
Speeding up.
Cars go real fast. Denny Hamlin is on cruise control after his win in Las Vegas. He's locked into the next round with nothing to worry about. William Byron, Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman, and Christopher Bell come in below the elimination line, so they can't afford to get caught up in a big one.
Come on,
the YellaWood 500 down there at Talladega. This Sunday, 2 o'clock on NBC.
Big race from Chris Bell coming up.
Hey, absolutely, man. And don't forget about Alex Bauman, dude.
Bauman's a player.
He's got a good car, fast car.
Hey, he's got a good crew in the pit.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Hey, them boys fly around down there. Welcome back to the show. I'm not sure any of us will watch it, but somebody should.
Definitely will.
I'm going to skip
2 o'clock on a
Steelers
Sunday?
game.
I'll put it on the third TV.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you'll have it on. I'll have it on one of my TVs.
I'll have it on.
Jacksonville Jaguars haven't been able to make the cut yet this season until last night, but I will have a NASCAR YellaWood 500 from Talladega on one of the TVs.
Tone, you got a pick for that race?
Yeah, I'm Hamlin. I was leaning Hamlin, but he's already on in the next round, so I'm worried about his. I'll probably go with Logano.
Is Kyle Busch running?
I don't know.
If Kyle Busch is running.
KY's running.
Kyle Busch is winning.
That's right.
That's all you need to know, Donner.
Keselowski.
Fuck Keselowski. Fuck him.
Thought Keselowski was the guy.
Nah, fuck him. Is Kyle Busch running? If KY's running, KY's winning. I don't even know who you're talking. Justin Keselowski? Fuck that guy.
No, Brad Keselowski in the number 2 Miller Lite car.
KY's already in the playoffs. He ain't going for it.
I ran
at the
against Justin
YellaWood.
Keselowski Diner at the fucking,
Hendricks Autosports?
Yeah.
We
To
know
hell
who
with him.
AJ's rooting for.
All right, let's get to the phones. Let's get to the phones.
Different KY.
YellaWood 500.
Can't wait.
This Sunday, 2 o'clock NBC. Let's go to the 500. Actually, there's some breaking news out of Tampa Bay. Although Richard Sherman has said that it's going to take him a little bit to learn the defense and maybe get acclimated, Bruce Arians has now come out and said Richard Sherman will be active for this Sunday's game. This is coming via Rick Stroud at NFL Stride. Bucs coach Bruce Arians says Richard Sherman will be active for Sunday's game. What will we see from Richard Sherman? Who knows? That Bucs defense will certainly need him if he's playing well. We cannot expect much out of Richard Sherman. Please, though, I would like the world to not bury Richard Sherman if something bad happens to Richard Sherman. This is very much just like in training camp when Richard Sherman was working on something and Marquise Goodwin blew right by him and the internet blew up and said Richard Sherman's washed. He negotiated his own contract. He's an idiot. Then he came back. They ended up. He was dominant. They're number one defense in the league at one point. Got a guy hired. The whole thing. He's all the way back. He obviously had a situation he ran into this past offseason. I think he's on the other side of it. He addressed it head on. He negotiated his own contract down there in Tampa, and now just 4 days later, he's taking on everybody in New England. That is a tough task, tall task, especially in the secondary for somebody that's playing the corner.
You are asking a lot of the world that if he gets burnt, that they do not roast him.
Yeah, especially after everything that has happened.
Yeah, what's awesome about this weekend's game is, like, as a fan outside of New England, you finally get to find out who you really hated. Was it the team or Tom?
Yeah, because everybody, I think, is starting to like Tom, and they've said, you know what, I guess I just hated the team this whole time. I actually didn't hate Tom. And then now, though, the way Connor says it, after that Subway commercial, people started swinging back into the Patriots.
I'm on that side.
Yeah, there were a few, but still, they pulled America, and America's rooting for Tom. About 5 states are rooting for the Pats.
Well, in those 5 states, probably in an area called the Revolution region.
They're up there, obviously, PA, because Pittsburgh,
That's right,
you heard
baby.
him booing Brady at the Hall of Fame, and we got Texas, baby.
I'm with you.
Texas is rooting for the Pats.
Connor, I'm with you this week.
Hey,
Come on.
Hey, Patriots are on the fucking field.
Hell yeah.
I like the fucking Patriots.
Yeah, that's right.
That's America.
Uh-huh.
Fucking Patriots. Tom Brady, coward, fucking left. See you. Went down to what?
Benedict?
The Pirates?
Turncoat.
Yeah.
Went down to the fucking... we're with the Patriots down here.
Florida stinks, and I heard Texas is also on Keselowski this weekend at the YellaWood, so I feel great about it.
I love... We have a big following in Texas. Going to do a show in Texas, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Have to, I think. Probably the first place we do a show, I assume. Maybe.
Down at the Stockyards, yeah.
Come on.
Come on, wheel out the cattle.
There is no way we'll be able to focus enough on the show if we go back down to the Stockyards.
That's very true.
Come
Oh, let's go to Waco.
Love
one of
Waco.
your children.
All right, love Waco. We'll stop by, see what Koresh did, but also maybe see Chip and Joanna games.
Yeah, Magnolia Farms.
And maybe go see where Dr. Pepper was founded.
Ooh.
That's Waco, everybody. Right?
river.
Moved up.
And where Sycamores. Let's go to, what's that?
I said the Bob Griffin statue as well.
Yeah.
People forget Bob
Tribute
Griffin.
to 666.
ESPN, Fox commentator.
ESPN.
ESPN commentator. Saw Alex Smith on Monday Night Football, by the way. I don't know if everybody else saw him.
Oh, that's right. He's
doing
part
a
of the
full
panel
membership.
now, right?
He was good.
Yeah.
He was good. He was very good. I'm assuming there are some other quarterbacks that maybe aren't as thrilled that maybe Alex Smith has come in. And then on Sunday Night Football, Drew Brees has come in as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's been some situations I think are brewing on TV, but I think everybody's getting better out there.
That's right.
Let's go to Devin in Arizona. You're on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. Good through October something, December something.
December
5hourenergy.com, promo code McAfee. Get 10% off your order. What's going on, Devin?
Pat, boys, how you guys doing today?
Hey, not too shabby. Devin, how are you out there in the desert, huh?
Hey, doing well, working out here in the heat. Wanted to ask, with Arizona taking on LA this weekend, who do you think remains undefeated in the NFC West?
Great question, Devin. And we went through the teams that we think will remain undefeated the longest. And I think where we actually fell upon was that the NFC West and the AFC West are going to kill each other. And that the Panthers really, in the NFC South, they're going to have to stare down a pretty tough schedule as well. I'm not 100% sure who will remain undefeated in those games, but I do know that the NFC West, whenever they're battling, it is electrifying. Just go ahead and put that on DVR if you don't have a TV on it, or put it on a main TV. If Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford are playing against each other, those offenses are going to go. This weekend has a lot of great matchups, though, including Steelers, Packers, Bucks, Patriots, obviously. I cannot wait to go through all of them with AJ Hawk in the next hour, and also Joel Batania.
Oh!
Yeah, offensive lineman for the Cleveland Browns, who have been dominating the NFL in the rush game, will join us. 8 years he's been in Cleveland. Now he's seen a little happiness. Can't wait to chat with him and AJ on the other side of the 6 minutes. We'll see you then. Is the MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. So. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so not everybody's thinking that way.
Right, it seems like every 3-4 years the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford-Ham. If you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what, I know you doing this radio, it softened you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat, but I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Campbell.
I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, okay, we can probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. We were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
so we're down 3 with 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, camera's on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy.
Kidding me. All right, down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips in from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Del, I was like, Del, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Del, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me, obviously. I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Leave
Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple of times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer. Thanks, Paul. Cheers, man. Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scotty.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no stuff here.
You're right.
It's just like EA Sports is in the game.
Jeez.
We're the only media outlet that does not have a deal with them. Like, we don't get free codes.
Nope.
I'm not even in the fucking game. They've asked me to do it. I've said no. I don't want to be a part of it. I mean, that is legit because I've never played, to be honest. I'm not
Smart.
good at it. But we're the only ones. Yeah, you guys have played. There's a lot of guys in here that have played. A lot of fans have called in and played. We're the only ones that aren't really on an EA Madden payroll at this point. So it's okay for us to come out and say, like, hey, y'all need to stop fucking over your fans. Like, you need to help them. I feel like that's a good thing of this show.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 3 on this Feel Good Friday, October 1st, 2021. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from... Come on. There it was. Here we go. Hey, last hour of the week.
Here we go.
Last hour before week 4 really dives into full force. Last hour before we get a chance to see if we can get back on the incredible winning spree that we have been on with our friends at FanDuel. Although we did not hit the same game parlay last night that 43,000 people were. And would have cost over $8 million to FanDuel. I have high hopes for this weekend, mostly because joining us for this last hour on this Feel Good Friday is a man who is, I think, currently the hottest against the spread picker in the history of picking things against the spread. Ladies and gentlemen, fresh out of a yuppie event, didn't even watch a game last night, but knew what was going to happen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, AJ!
How are you, bub?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Good. You're right. I missed the first half, actually. Saw a lot of the second half, and I said, hey, what's the score? And someone said, oh, it's 21-21. I said, yep, here we go. I won this one.
Yeah. Sure. And by the way, plus 7.5 for the Jags. They looked good. Now, you didn't get to see much of the Jags looking that good. I guess in the first half, they really looked well, and the Cincinnati Bengals team looked like shit. And Zach Taylor went into halftime and said, come on. Come on, guys. What are we doing? And Joey Burrow said the same thing, and a lot changed in the second half. There was a lot of game left. They opened it up a little bit more. Joe Burrow threw for over 250 yards just in the second half, all by himself, with 85% of his passes being completed. He is an absolute stud. Bengals get the win, but the Jaguars, I think, impressed a lot of us, AJ. Literally watching that game impressed a lot of us. A lot better than I thought they were going to be because we hadn't watched anything about them, basically. And I don't think they're going to go completely defeated, but Urban Meyer was heartbroken last night after that game, AJ. Heartbroken.
Oh, I know. I saw that, and I've seen clips from throughout the game as well. But, yeah, didn't it feel like, hey, this is the one? And Urban come back to Ohio. You're in Cincy. This is the one they should have got. But, hey, what do they say, Pat? It's tough to win the NFL.
Especially when you're just, praying the entire time? Is that what he's doing when he's looking down? Does he not want to see it? Holding in a fart?
Yeah. Trying not to throw up.
Why is he holding it in? No one can hear it out there.
Yeah, you let it eat out there. That's probably the right place to let it eat. He's not worried. Oh, he's worried about the smell, getting the team done. A lot of this, though, out of Urban,
That guy 9-3, 8-3, or something like that, and then he just literally all he has done is won. And I understand that people have said that about Trevor Lawrence as well, but a lot of top picks in the draft have won. Like that's why they're top picks in the draft is because they won. So that's a conversation that happens that I think is very dumb, especially because everybody knows they're going to a bad team. But do you think Urban actually thought they were going to win the Super Bowl this year? That's what he was acting like after the game almost. Like, got a lot of good guys here, broken heart or whatever. It's week 4 of the NFL, dude. Hey, next week they'll fucking beat your ass again if you don't get out of this. Like, I honestly, we're a little bit concerned about the expectations that Urban has put on himself. Legit, actually, here.
No, I think absolutely. He goes into every game expecting to win. I'm sure he's somewhat realistic in his mind, thinking like, yeah, that's going to be an uphill battle. But it's like everyone has some kind of delusional self-confidence. Look, you think you're going to win $20 million from me and make a PGA Tour event and finish in the top 50. Like, we know that's not going to happen, but in your brain, you believe it will.
We don't know that. We know on this side of the screen that it is going to happen. But this isn't about me, okay? Too much of me. This is about fucking Urban Meyer right now, and obviously you're trying to pivot.
No, it's a similar situation. I guarantee you, like, don't you think if you were a head coach and you were taking over a team that was horrible, you'd be like, hey, you know what? If I get my culture in place and we do that and we do get hot at the right time, we can make a run and get this thing done.
Okay, and let's talk about a guy who did turn around a complete culture. Okay, Stefanski, Andrew Berry, go into Cleveland, turn that place around after what many thought was potentially a curse that was going to live forever.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches around the NFL said you haven't really coached in the NFL until you've been fired by the Cleveland Browns. Now they got something special. A guy who has been there for the last 8 years, has seen the dark days, and now getting a chance to be a massive part of their dominant days. Offensive lineman of the number 1 rush attack in the NFL in the Cleveland Browns. Pro Bowler, ladies and gentlemen, Joel Bitonio. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me.
Joel, thank you for coming on, man. You, obviously, Paisan, we're big fans of those around here, but getting a chance to learn about you after you agreed to come on the show, you have an incredible story. I assume life right now, after those first few years in Cleveland, not really knowing what was going to happen, am I going to be like Joe Thomas in Cleveland? Am I going to have a great career but never get a chance to experience the happiness of winning? What has it been, you think, seeing like Andrew Berry, Stefanski really come in there? Has there been a complete culture shift? Has it been player-led, you think? What has it been like in Cleveland?
Oh, it's been great, man. It's top down. Like you said, I've been through it now. We lost a lot of games in my first few years, and so to have something, it's just like it's kind of crazy, but just like organized and like from the top down structure, like Andrew Berry, Coach Stefanski, all on the same page is just kind of like the first step. And then obviously we had a bunch of first round picks over the years. Miles and Baker and Denzel and Nick was up there, so you get good players. Eventually, we're going to hit, and it's been fun to win some games finally.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Could you tell early on when Stefanski and like the front office, when they all come to Cleveland, was it because we know you've been through a few different regimes there? Like, how quick do you can you figure it out within like the first couple months? Like, all right, hey, this is different. This feels a little better.
Oh yeah, for sure. It just Coach Stefanski was just the same guy every day, and he just had an answer for everything, you know what I mean? And not like a know-it-all way, but just it was his plan, He's like, all right, this is how we're going to schedule. This is what we're going to do, day-to-day life. And he came into a COVID year, which was crazy as is, and he just same guy every day. If we had a positive test or not, just come to work, man. And that was really the best part about it. But you could definitely tell. My rookie year, I was with Kyle Shanahan. He was my offensive coordinator, so he was a guy. Like I was like, man, this is great. Like he knows what he's doing. And then we had a few rough patches in there, and but coming back to Coach Stefanski, it was like, all right, this is what the NFL is supposed to be like.
I think the story is that Kyle Shanahan did like a 30-deck presentation on why they should let him leave his contract in Cleveland and go elsewhere. I think that's the story behind the scenes or whatever the case is. You were there for that through all the hard days, and then whenever Andrew Berry and Stefanski come in and they're consistent every single day, how early on do you realize like, okay, they're going to focus on the run here? I feel like that has been something that they have legitimately taken to heart. Not that other offensive coordinators in Cleveland history haven't, but I'm just saying whenever they bring in a guy like Austin Hooper, who is obviously an athlete but a road grader at tight end, you have 2 stud running backs that get paid before your quarterback does. You get like it feels like as an offensive lineman, it's almost like a dream scenario, right? You want to come off the ball and run. It feels like that is why you guys are having success, because the success of the run. That's dream for Joel Bitonio, right?
Oh, absolutely. Coach Stefanski talked about it. Like that was like the mod. Like we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna do play action. It's all gonna be off the wide zone work and take the deep shots when you have a chance. First game of the season we kind of got smoked, so we passed the ball like 40 times last year, and I was like, man, we're going to be throwing the ball a bunch. And then from week 2 on, it was just like, no, we're going to run the ball. We're going to take our shots. We're going to do our thing, and we buy into it, man. We run the ball in like 3rd and 4 sometimes, and I'm like, all right, this is a pass. We're gonna throw the ball here, and he's like, no, we'll run it again. We'll go for it on 4th down. We'll get the first down. So it's been fun, and Coach Callahan's here too, and he's a great run game mind too as our offensive line coach, and I think they just all work together and like. We're going to run the ball. We're going to take our shots when we have a chance. But when you have Nick and Kareem back there, it makes life a little bit easier.
Hey, what was camp like this year going against those monsters you have on defense? I mean, you guys have had monsters for a couple years, but it seems like you are just absolutely loaded at all 3 levels. Would you guys have some spirited practices?
Spirited.
Oh, yeah.
Great word.
It was good. You get down to those 2-minute drives or 3rd down periods, and you're hoping Miles is not playing the 3 technique, for the week. You're like, stay outside on this one, you know what I mean? But they put him and Clowney on one side, or they, line up an overload front, and they got him, Clowney, Malik, Jackson, all lined up on you guys, and you get your work in, man. That's for sure. And if Miles is feeling good that day, it's gonna be tough to block him 1-on-1. But it's a battle. It's good, It's that thing where I'd much rather block him in practice when no one's watching than going out there on the game and having to block him.
Yeah, every once in a while those practice films do make the internet, though. Every once in a while those things happen. I could imagine, though, spirited is a great way to describe that. But I wanted to talk about the team. You got a lot of personalities on this team. Now, obviously, this is from outside looking in, but as soon as Odell Beckham Jr. gets traded in or whatever, everybody thinks, oh, he's going to want out of Cleveland. Every single day, Odell doesn't want to be there. He's getting traded. And then, obviously, Jarvis is a big name that gets moved out of Miami in there. And Baker Mayfield is a personality. His commercials are so good.
Oh, yeah.
He had a fanny pack on. He was at a yard sale this last year.
I remember.
It was unbelievable. But let alone Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and everybody you got in the back end, it feels like there's a lot of personalities. What's the culture? Is that big? Is Stefanski big on like, hey, we're hanging out together, we're getting along? Because I think that's the X factor that takes teams from good to great. How is the team? Obviously, things are good right now, but how is the team as a whole, you think?
Oh, it's good, man. With the internet and everything now, you just hear so many stories about guys like Odell or Jarvis or Jadeveon Clowney, like these guys before you meet them, and then you meet them in the locker room, you're like, man, this is nothing like what I've heard. Or you talk to old teammates, and like they only say positive things about these guys. So it's been really good, man. We got a bunch of guys that just want to go out there and win, and obviously, like it's an NFL locker room, so people are confident, they're competitive people, so they want to do anything they can to help the team. So there's things like that, but Coach Stefanski, from day one, we weren't together last year, but we always did this thing called the 4 H's. So you talk about your history, your heroes, your heartbreaks, your hopes. You know what I mean? Those 4 things. And you kind of explain to the team where you're from and what you're doing. So you get to know everybody, and you realize there's connections, from different, obviously tragedies or different experiences you've experienced in your life. And you kind of, bond on that. But we have a good group, man. And I really do think it starts with Baker. His personality is just like people want to be around him, and he can really connect with anybody, so it kind of makes it easy for him to for everybody kind of rally around him.
That 4 H's is a good idea, because you learn about somebody, you have a lot more respect for somebody, you're more likely to like somebody afterwards. And I think a lot of college teams try to do that type of thing. That fact that it's carrying into your building, and we're obviously seeing the results of that, is a beautiful thing. I think that's that next generation of coaches, potentially Stefanski. I'm not 100% sure, but whenever you talk about one of those H's, history, we looked into yours. And obviously, rest in peace to your dad. Sounds like a fucking legend of a dude. Literally, whenever we looked up and read about him, sounds like an absolute legend. So rest in peace. But he was a badass. Hey, this guy was a fucking badass, huh? And is that was that expected of you? What was life like? For those that don't know, his dad was an MMA fighter, and this is back before they had any rules. This dude, was like legendary fighter. Was that something that he brought you around much? Did you not know much about, or is that kind of what made you into who you were, you think?
Yeah, so I knew he did that stuff in like martial arts and things like that, but when it was happening, I was pretty young. I was probably like 5 or 6 when he went. I remember going to Disneyland afterward because I'm a California kid. We went to Disneyland, and he was kind of beat up still, but there was a few people that were like, "Oh, that's Mike Petonio," like kind of talked him up. I'm like, "What are these people talking about?" Because I didn't really know what was going on. I think I watched his like main fight in the World Combat Championships when I was probably like 10 or 11 or 12. And like, I knew he had lost that fight against Bart Vale, but like I didn't know, and I was like, jumping at everything. Like he reversed a takedown one time, and I was like getting pumped, but I knew he lost that main fight. But I had been around it. Like I did martial arts when I was a kid and stuff, but I always wanted like a ball in my hand. You know what I mean? I wanted to play those type of sports. So he was, I wouldn't pick a fight with him, but no, I was around it. I saw some of his things. He would go into these, backyard events and stuff like that, throughout Southern California, Long Beach, San Pedro, places like that. I experienced some of that, but I feel like he kind of shielded me away from that part of it. That was more of his other kind of life. Because once he kind of went away from that, he just went back to, raising his kids and being the family man.
Man, that's awesome to hear you talk glowingly about your dad, by the way. Rest in peace to him. I wish I would have been able to see some of his fights. In that moment, back in the day when the Kimbo era was happening, when he was going into backyards and your dad is going into backyards before MMA was really legitimized as a sport, you're talking about trailblazers that are like, no, I don't necessarily have to hate a guy to fight him. I just want to showcase that I could beat his ass if I have to. And I got nothing but mad respect for that. Go ahead, Ty.
Joel, you mentioned you're a California kid. Do you like playing in the elements in Cleveland? Like, did it take a while for you to acclimate to playing in the cold like that? And have you gotten used to it? As a lineman, I assume you love doing it.
Oh yeah, under 50 is like my prime state now, But as growing up, I never snow or anything like that. I mean, we get rain like 10 times a year in California. I went up to Reno for school, and we had some weather. We had some cold weather, so I was kind of used to it. But once you get to the NFL, like my theory is like the colder it gets, everybody around me is going to slow down more than I'm going to slow down. You know what I mean? Like we have only so much we can slow down as an O-line. So let's get it cold. Let's slow some of those D linemen and linebackers down. So I'm used to it now. I'm ready to play. I'm excited when we get some cold weather.
Hey, let's let those Florida boys figure this thing out. You know what I mean? That is always a great conversation to be had. And I should watch more film on you, and I will after learning about you. I mean, you're a fucking legend, dude. I want to let you know that. Just very cool, and we appreciate your time here. Are you a mauler? You beat that. You look like, your biceps seem to be gigantic. You eat people alive, or what is your style?
I think I got a great camera angle right now because they're usually not that good.
Yeah, good light too. Yeah, you got to do the.
Yeah, but I'll take it. No, honestly, like I would say like I'm pretty athletic dude. You know what I mean? So I can move and stuff. But when I get a chance to finish guys, like we'll take it down.
Hey, how do you feel about this, real quick? I know you're not a tackle, but
no. Cowboy boots?
Yeah. Because I'm a commentator, cowboy, obviously. Hey, look, give me can you please give me the call and what it's on, Battaglia?
Oh, you want it?
Yeah. What's it on? And I need it, please.
Okay. 3-jet. We're going 3-jet. You're on the man side here on 1-on-1. Ready? Break. All right, here we go. Set hut. Wide 80. Oh, shit. He went early.
Offside, yeah.
Offside.
All right, it's on me. I was excited. Fucking guy's good. All right, so we got a 5-yard. All right.
All right, we'll just go from the color. Ready? On 1. Oh, you. Okay. 3-jet on 1-on-1. Ready? Break. Wide 80. Wide 80. Set up.
Did you fucking see that, Joel? Fucking run a screen next time, dude. I'm fucking out of there, Joel. Honestly, I'm fucking out of there. Well, with your team, though, we're not running jets. We're running people over. So I should probably put my hand in the dirt there. That's 100% my fault. Good luck the rest of the way, Joel. We appreciate you so much for your time, bub.
Yeah, appreciate having me on, guys. Thank you.
Hey, let everybody over there know we said hello, and we appreciate what they're doing. We got some diehard Steeler fans in the studio, and they are scared to death of what the AFC North is becoming right now, Joel. It's hot in the kitchen over there.
It's not true, Joel.
Oh yeah, we got some teams coming.
Yeah, hey, the Ravens. I mean, Joey Burrow. I mean, the Browns are number 1 in every rush statistic basically there is. And then you got the Steelers worried about old Tommy John and baloney. Ladies and gentlemen, Joel Battaglia. Yeah, Joel! What a guy. He's a stud.
Yeah, brawler.
Bro, did you see?
Yeah, his arms
athlete,
are
dude. He was a good high school basketball player. Like that's what I'm sure people sleep on his athleticism.
I think a lot of these big guys nowadays, I feel like nowadays a lot of them I think a lot of them hate having to be big. First of all, I think a lot of guys have to force feed themselves. Well, like AQ Shipley, he's like this tall or whatever, right? He's like this tall. That guy was.
Isn't he like 6'3"?
Yeah.
No. He's taller than that.
Yeah, he is. He's like my son. He's like 6'2". Okay, he's 6'2", 6'3", whatever the case. But you look at him next to other offensive linemen, he is small.
He's literally a Hall of Fame high school basketball player. Like these big guys, because they have to keep up at that heavy weight. They have to be able to move. You have to be able to adjust to what the defense.
Good feet. You got to have good feet to be an NFL offensive lineman. And if you grow up playing, basketball and a bunch of different other sports. I think he was a shot put discus guy too. Like talk about good feet. That dude, he did
look like that one guy. The
Krauser.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Krauser could throw that fucking rock, dude.
Further than anyone.
Yeah, in history, he breaks his own record every single meet he does again and again and again. Yeah. It's a Krauser thing, really. That we'd like to call the shot put. You know how Pitt has the Chris Buckle,
97.
Chris Buckle. Class of 97 head coach.
Of course.
I think the shot put should be called the Krauser rock toss shot put. Like forever. Ooh. I think it should be called that. And I think every country should have to address that. With that being said, though, Joel Bitonio is a stud. That guy was really cool. I didn't expect that out of him. He was excited. Yeah, it feels like he could go on and maybe crack the atom at some point. Super smart dude, which is another offensive lineman trait.
It is, isn't it? Like weirdly super smart, like a lot of offensive linemen are, where you wouldn't really expect it by looking at him. Then you talk to him like, oh, this dude's like a undercover genius. I know a lot of guys like that, I feel like.
Oddly athletic, like incredibly athletic for a big guy. Mean, right? Normally there has to be some sense of like, hey, I'm going hand-to-hand combat every single day. My body's going to be sore for the next 5 months, no matter what. A little bit of savageness. And then somehow you start talking to him, it's like, wow, you have the most interesting hobbies. That is crazy. But they have to know everything. They have to remember everything. And by the way, they're not allowed to even... I jumped off sides there because his cadence was so good. Maybe Joel should be giving out the cadences, by the way, in Cleveland. But they can't even budge. Like, you can't even move. It is a wild set of skills that offensive linemen have to have. And by the way, you're going to get zero credit for anything.
Yeah, you only get credit when you get beat, basically. When you're an offensive lineman. Sure, when they're running the ball, they're like, hey, this O-line's really road grading them down, but they're not going to really single each one out and give each one the attention they deserve. So, yeah, it's a weird gig, but hey, you got to have them.
All right, we have to answer some phone calls on the other side of this break, and we also have to run through all of our games. My question for you is, with all these hoity-toity yuppie events you've been going to, do you even know that football is happening this weekend? And let me follow up with that. It doesn't matter, because you haven't known anything the last couple weeks, and you've been absolutely hot. Let's keep this thing rolling, pal.
Let's see. I actually checked out a few of them right before I hopped on here. There's some ones I got to make a decision on. I haven't figured out.
Okay. Well, we'll continue to bet alongside AJ Hawk. Remember, although I forgot this yesterday, we both were able to win.
Yeah, that's right.
We were both able to win. I will definitely have him go first, and then I will learn from my previous mistakes. Or will I?
Oh, great
Or is
tease.
this the week where things change? Maybe so. Phone calls on the other side, and we're selecting the entire weekend against the spread with the hottest against the spread picker that is out there in AJ Hawk. We'll see you in 4. Out of, I think, a 757 that was from Jim Irsay. What was that, and have you ever been in that plane before?
I thought it was like the team plane to fly all of the Indianapolis Colts. Literally, I mean, it's got the logo on it, Pat, and it was awesome. But look, that's just Jim. Pat, I had a wonderful 14 years there. It's obviously the team that I wanted to play for always. I understood the decision he had to make, and no hard feelings, and for him to send his plane to fly me and my son down here, it was a great gesture. A lot of room for me and Marshall. We were throwing the football. Pretty cool experience. Pretty cool father-son weekend.
By the way, as he's moving from event to event right now, you are the best, dude. Where are you headed right now?
I'm going to the game. I got Lynch. I got Faneca. I got these guys in the background.
Boys, congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations, boys. All right, Peyton. Oh, hey, there he is. Marshall, I hope you enjoyed that plane, pal. Hey, Peyton, last thing here. You talking to Tom Brady, you becoming friends with him. It was interesting to watch. Oh, yeah, take the photo. Take the photo. All right, we will wrap this up.
Well, I'll tell you, Pat, I don't think anybody can do what Tom has done. Look, I know how hard it was for me to get on the same page with my receivers, learn a new system, learn new coaches. But I had a full off season. I was injured. I was rehabbing. The fact that Tom has done this in a COVID pandemic off season, no time to meet with his receivers. He met with his coaches illegally by breaking into Byron Leftwich's house. So besides that, it's been incredible what he's been able to accomplish, and he deserves all the credit. His leadership is what's put the Bucs in this game today, and I have great respect for him because I know how hard it is, but he deserves all the credit.
Hey, how did you know Red 18 was coming?
Pat, I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you telling that story and just growing the legend. That was about the 18th time I tried it. I was 17 going into that. And, you know, when it doesn't hit, you just keep walking and nobody ever really tells you about it. So when it hit, I was as surprised as you were. And the reaction from some of the good old folks there in the casino that night was pretty special.
Well, I appreciate you doing that. You made me and those folks in the casino a bunch of money. Congrats on the Hall of Fame nod. Thank you for spending time. Enjoy yourself at the game, Peyton.
Pat, thanks, pal. I appreciate you.
The Sheriff, Hall of Famer, Peyton.
Can we take a moment of silence for the first 2 to 3 years of Zach Wilson's career? Because all he's got going for him is Bob Saleh. That's it.
Moment of silence for his mom, who made her Instagram follow. That's what I thought we were doing.
That's what I thought we were doing. Let's go to Chris and Indy. What's going on? Mrs. Wilson, hope everything's all right.
Yeah, she jumped out there, right, with some hot takes, and then...
She got a fake mask she wears.
She does not like Hooers.
Not a fan of Disney.
She doesn't like
Or
Disney
Snapchat.
or Hooers.
Oh, there's going to be a bunch of Hooers running around Zach. She said enough of it. Not on that Snapchat.
Every day is game day for these guys. It's showtime on the Pat McAfee Show.
Do it. Won't do it. What I will do is shout out today's sponsor, which is...
You all right?
A little indigestion there.
Oh, no.
It's from the same game parlay a bit.
Don't pass out.
By the way, I've been drinking a lot of water today in preparation for the Celsius I will drink tonight. I've been told by some people on the internet that actually care about my health as opposed to all of you.
Whoa.
Said I need a little sodium in there. Get a little sodium in there and there should be no problem.
Oh, hold on to the water.
Eat some French fries.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I guess the hold on to the water thing, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyways, today's sponsor has nothing to do with
soy sauce.
Shut up, dude.
I would, by the way, if it came for the green cap, because I know that's healthy for me.
That's
sodium free.
Oh, so I need the red cap.
Yeah,
I need a red cap. You're right. Maybe that person was right that it didn't have enough sodium because I will choose that green cap every single time.
Mm-hmm. Healthy.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know what is.
Yeah, and I think they potentially pour both in there, like those college bars that definitely pour the cheap vodka into the expensive. I wouldn't say my restaurant of choice would do that.
No.
I'm not saying that my Japanese place would do that, but I'm just saying there's a chance that yours probably does.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Anyways, today's sponsor is Noom. Okay, Noom is a digital health platform that helps you empower you to take control of your health.
Need that.
Speaking of what we were just talking about right here, we got the answers, pal. Noom focuses on building healthy routines and habits because there's so much more to being healthy than just losing weight and dieting, AJ Hawk. Yeah, it's been sneaky effective at suggesting tiny life changes that snowball into big improvements, said one Noom user.
Okay.
Here's how it works. You start by taking a quick assessment used to tailor a custom plan for you. Then Noom, it's quick, by the way. It's a very quick assessment that tailors a custom plan for you. Then Noom connects you with a coach who is a real person trained in psychology, fitness, and nutrition to help guide you and cheer for you as you go. And they have these food and exercise trackers with lessons and psych tricks, which have helped all of us reach our goals. Isn't that right?
That's right.
I love Noom.
If you're like us and want to build healthy habits and take control of your health, you can get a free Noom evaluation and 7-day trial when you use our link at Noom.com. Noom.com/McAfee. That's NOOM.com/
I love Noom too.
McAfee. You don't need Noom because you're already on the healthy habit.
No, we're always striving to get better, and Noom helps.
Okay.
once again, when you use, I think you just got muted by Nick. When you use the link in the description of our YouTube or go to noom.com/McAfee, you can get a free Noom evaluation and a 7-day trial to see if it's right for you.
Let's go.
Get your evaluation and a 7-day trial when you go to noom.com/McAfee. This is taking healthy lifestyles to a complete different level. Psychology, psychic tricks. I don't want to say they're going to hypnotize you, but they'll be able to frame things in your mind differently so that you're able to live that healthy lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Shout out to Noom. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, AJ, for joining us.
Yep. Shout out to you. You going to the 5-hour energy phone lines?
I don't know. I don't know if we go to the phone lines now or if we do our picks. Yeah. See,
he wants
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's
Hey,
hungry.
Hey, listen. This is one of those times during a week where I look forward to, but I haven't been that successful. So this is not normal. So normally I only look forward to things that I'm good at. I dread the things that I'm terrible at. I have not been great at this, but you have been. So after the first 3 weeks, I've obviously took some bumps and bruises along the way. But what I'm going to do this week, I'm going to listen to the man who was 12-4 against the spread just 1 week ago.
Damn.
AJ Hawk, and I will also make my picks because I believe the tide has turned. I won 5-2 last night.
Wow.
I'm talking about.
You're really 0-1 from last night, right?
Well, if I would have done your stupid ass pick, if I was doing the 7, I picked Cincinnati Bengals money line. Shout out to me winning.
Boom.
Boom.
No, we don't pick money. But the picks we do, you got to go with the spread. We're not doing money line.
But I didn't make a pick, so we'll just go 5-2 after the right.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't do against the spread.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's like your fake Panthers pick last week, AJ.
Oh, yeah. Bingo.
Whoa.
Bingo from our Canadians.
Gotcha.
It doesn't matter. Don't let us slow you down. You are hot. Let's get into it. AJ Hawk and I will pick the entire slate. So obviously last night, the Jacksonville Jaguars covered plus 7.5 on Thursday Night Football. Tennessee Titans, New York Jets. Jets are getting 7.5 points at home as the Tennessee Titans, who might be without Julio and A.J. Brown. Do we have any updates on them?
Down to 6.
It's down to 6 because of that potentially. How do you feel about this? Titans on the road at the Jets, A.J. Hawk.
I like Titans -6 here.
All right. Me too. What is next? Let's go Chiefs, Eagles. Chiefs on the road in Philadelphia against Coach Sirianni. Chiefs are favored by 7.5. Coach Sirianni, your thoughts with the one-time Super Bowl champs coming into town a little bit wounded?
I'm just hoping we don't get fucking blown out in this game because that would not be good for us.
Okay, 7.5 is the spread. Is it still 7? 7 now. What is your thoughts, AJ Hawk?
Man, I hate these big spreads, but I got to take the Chiefs at -7 here. I think a bounce back week for the Chiefs.
All right, I'm taking the Eagles. Go next.
Wow.
Just because. I mean, we're 2-15-1 or something like that for the Kansas City Chiefs against the spread. And also, I will agree with most that AJ says. I made that decision earlier. This is one where I'm just going to go with the Eagles at home because E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles. All right, next game, Panthers-Cowboys. Panthers getting 4.5 on the road to Jerry World. Undefeated Panthers taking on the potentially hot Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. AJ Hawk?
This one is tough. You know, I'm a big Panthers fan. I like what the Panthers are doing, but the Cowboys as well. I'm taking Cowboys, -4.5? Is that where
3,
it is?
I think, 3.5.
-3.5.
No, it's 4.5.
I'll take the Cowboys -3.5.
No, 4.5. It's 4.5. I was wrong. Like a lot of things, I was
wrong. It
wrong.
doesn't matter either. But yeah, I'll take it.
4.5, you like the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Me too. All right, what's next? Let's go to New York Giants at the Saints. The Saints. Okay, 7.5. Doesn't even matter, he says. Browns at Vikings. Me too, by the way. Browns.
It's not an indictment on the Giants. I just think the Saints are going to play well against them.
Sounds like an indictment on Giants whenever you went that quick and everything else was kind of I don't really like this much, but then you went.
Okay, Browns here on the next one then.
Okay, Browns -2.5 on the road at the Vikings. Home dogs is something that a lot of people chit-chat about.
They're hot, too. They're hot.
I like the Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go next.
Right.
This might be a mistake here. Vikings +2.5. All right. Let's not get crazy. I have no idea who's going to win that game. I don't think they do either. Vikings +2.5. Lions at Bears. Lions getting 3 points. Traveling into Chicago, which will only be the home of the Bears for the next 12 years before they move to Arlington Heights, which is an hour outside of the city. Your thoughts on Lions and Bears? Oh my, AJ Hawk.
I'm going to have to go here with the Lions at +3. I think they get their first victory of the year.
Okay, Lions +3 you like in Chicago. Chicago averaged 1 yard of play last week.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Hear me roar, Lions. I'm going. Yeah. I went to Lions.
Good pick.
Could have been a bear, too, with the same roar. Had people going there. Texans at Bills. Texans are getting 17.5 now, I think, right?
Yes.
This has moved from 15.5 to 17.5 points. It will be 17.5 to nothing. Houston will be up over the Buffalo Bills when that game kicks off in Buffalo in front of Bills Mafia. One of the greatest baby things, gender reveals I've seen in some time, by the way. Old buddy jumped off a very nice Sprinter van into a table that had balloons underneath. It exploded. He's having a baby boy. Next member of Bills Mafia is about to be born in however many months they need for the baby to be born. You get it. Bills Mafia, though, 17.5 point favorites over Houston on the road. Your thoughts?
This sure is a lot. Is this going to be the biggest line we see all year? Like,
Probably.
Have we seen one bigger?
Probably, unless the Jets continue the Jets. I mean, this feels like this is the biggest one.
All right, then I'm going to take the Texans with the 17.5.
All right, let's go to the next one.
What about you?
Colts and what's that?
You didn't make a pick.
No. What do you? I did. It's
Isn't
part
that
of the
what
show.
we're doing? Who'd you pick?
What are you talking about? Let's go. Colts Dolphins is the next one, dude. Colts.
What's going on here? What is there an inside joke I don't know about? You're not picking this game?
Give me the fucking Bills minus 17.5. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay.
Just because. We'll never see this again. Have to do it.
Have to do it.
You know, and I like Josh Allen a lot. And I think what they've been able to do, 56 zip through 6 quarters in the last 2 games or whatever. I mean, let's go, boys.
Here we go.
Hey, here we go, boys.
Slam it.
17.5. I like the Bills minus 17.5. And this, I'm making the same mistakes I've made the first 3 weeks.
I don't know.
It feels like I'm making the same mistakes I made the first 3 weeks. Here is the best prognosticator out there and literally saying something, stupid. Give me the other one. I didn't want to do it. You forced me. Let's go to the next one.
Stop self-handicapping, man.
I'm not self-handicapping. That's kind of my issue, is I literally just dive right into something, and then I do get beat up a little bit afterwards, and I try to learn from it, because the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result, right?
That's right.
That's allegedly a made-up definition of insanity. I don't think that's the actual definition of insanity, is it? No. Whatever the case is, I'm doing the same thing I've been doing the first 3 weeks when I've been losing. So I potentially should change, but I'm not going to. Give me Bills Mafia, the Bildos, and the tables, minus 17.5 in Buffalo. Fuck it, let's go. Colts at Dolphins. Colts are getting 1.5 points, traveling down to Miami. Jacoby Brissett, revenge game potentially. Colts quarterback Carson Wentz was once 2 sprains. Now he is just sprains, 1 sprained ankle. How do you feel about the Colts-Dolphins matchup, AJ?
I mean, his ankles do worry me. I like the Dolphins here at minus 1.5? Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go Washington Falcons. Let's go.
I guess you're with the Dolphins as well, is what you're saying.
No.
Jacoby Brissett.
For the shoe, dude.
Revenge game.
I
mean,
you can want the Colts to win and pick the Fins.
Brian Flores is going to be dialing it up the pressure on Carson Wentz.
And how's Quentin Nelson?
I don't know.
He was carted off.
Great player. Very good player.
Great player. Yeah, he wasn't playing last week, and we did notice 2 sprains fell a little bit there.
It's a win-win if you take the Fins.
And I picked the Colts every single time. They have not.
Yes.
Correct.
So I'm a good guy, actually, for the Colts if I do this.
Yeah.
Fucking give me Mr. 305, dog. Jacoby Brissett. All right, I got the Dolphins down there. I like Colts. Colts can't even win that with upset. If they win, I'm happy. And I'm doing this strictly to turn the tide. Washington and Atlanta. Big who gives a fuck. Your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, tough one to pick, but I like the Falcons here at plus 1.5.
All right, give me Washington then. Yeah. I'll just pick the opposite just because this one, who knows there. And my luck has been telling me, I should do that instead of just riding with you. Seahawks +3 going into San Francisco against Jimmy G, Trey Lance, and the 49ers.
What are the Seahawks? Who are they? That's the question. I'm taking the Niners here at -3? Is that right?
Yeah, -3 at home. And the thing about the Seahawks is they have crumbled late in games. Have they lost it?
Whoa.
They loved each other. Kumbaya, we're doing press conference going into the season. We're going to beat the dog shit out of the Indianapolis Colts week 1, on the road. We're going to do this whole thing. But 2 straight weeks in the second half, they've just given games away.
Yeah.
At some point this year, I'm not saying this game, though, the Seahawks are just going to rout somebody that they weren't supposed to. I hope it's not this week because I'm picking the other team.
Yeah, give me the Niners, too, especially after that heartbreaker last week against the Aaron Rodgers-led. Pal, I like Russell Wilson. I said I'm not going to bet against him. Then I did, and he lost for me. So now I'm going against a lot of my rules.
Let him cook.
Now give me the Niners. Let's go. I don't like it. Cardinals getting 4, going to Los Angeles against the Rams. NFC West here, matchups obviously placed right next to each other. Electrifying top to bottom. This game is going to be insane. Getting 4 on the road in Space Station SoFi. Your thoughts?
Awesome game. You're right. This game will be fun to watch. I think there's a lot of anticipation for it. I like the Rams at -4.
Okay, me too. Let's go to the Steelers-Packers. Steelers getting 6.5 on the road in Lambeau. I guess Aaron Rodgers has never played against the Steelers in Lambeau or has never beat the Steelers in Lambeau.
Never played against them in Lambeau.
The Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Lambeau. What's that?
Same thing. He's never beaten him in the regular season, and he's never played him in Lambeau.
He's never played against him in Lambeau. So that means the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Who started that game? We played the Steelers in Lambeau. It was a cold game. Who was our
one was
starter?
Matt Flynn,
and one was Brett Hundley.
Yeah.
Brett Hundley fucking may be playing for a Colts soon, but all right, let's not worry about that. So that's crazy that Aaron Rodgers has, and maybe they'll intro him this week too, right? You think maybe?
Well, whatever the last home game was, it's going to be opposite offense defense.
Well, the last one was the defense, and I found it very fascinating that the first home game after COVID, after everything happened, they introduced
defense. I mean, I don't know who makes that decision. I don't think that I think that's like a PR. I think that's just whoever. I don't know who does that.
Good.
For me, it was Chuck made the decision because Chuck. Well, maybe somebody else made the decision. Chuck came up to me and said, and we should ask him about this next. Coach is up, Chuck. When he came up to me and he said, "Have you ever been introduced before?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You're getting introduced today." And I was like, "Oh my God, I got to think of something." Okay. And he was like, "Listen, please don't make me regret this whole thing." So that whole thing happened. It never happened. So I don't know who makes the decisions where, but I found that fascinating that you wouldn't intro Aaron Rodgers' first game. Like, I just always assumed, like, quarterback's probably going to get it. But maybe they saved it for this fucking dogfight with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers getting a chance to say hello to Lambeau. You know, with all these alleged stories, with all the people of Green Bay talking, "Oh, we're on the Packers side, we hate Aaron," and then Go Pack instead of the Go Pack Go sign allegedly happening all offseason, and the smear campaign that was potentially happening by Mark fucking Murphy to all the Green Bay Packers fans. Now he gets to jog out with that team hotter than ever. I assume we're both going with the Packers here, yeah?
Yeah, I'll take the Packers -6.5.
Me too. They feel good? You think the Packers feel very good about where they're at and everything going on, yeah?
I think so, yeah. They got to feel really good after their win last week. I think they're just going to keep that momentum rolling.
How's the chemistry of the team? Feels like they're all bought in all together, you think, if you had to judge it from outside looking in?
Yeah, it seems like it when we talk to Aaron on here on Tuesdays, and I still talk with people in the building. They all seem to be pretty good right now.
Okay, let's go Packers. And no offense to the Steelers. Please.
Listen,
but it is,
all
though.
day. You love. There's no team you love attacking more than the Steelers.
That is not true.
That's very true.
Do not put that out there. Do not put that out there. It is kind of fun, though, because, you know, what I say to just Nick in tone here, it's also there's like 30 friends, you know, that potentially hear everything I say. Like, "Oh, you guys fucking dead over there, dude?" That's a shame because, you know, when I would have to come play in Pittsburgh, obviously they would celebrate heavily my failures. You know what I mean? Whenever that whole thing would happen, so you got to give it back.
That's
but
fair.
I like when the Steelers are winning.
That's not what you just said to me at the water cooler.
No, that ain't true. That ain't true. I said, what if they're dead? I didn't say I didn't like them winning. I'm just, what if they are Look, Joe Batonio. Joe Batonio's just hitting his stride over there in Cleveland. He ain't fucking around, dude.
We'll worry about the Browns later in the week. I've been saying all week, actually. I took it on Monday as soon as the lines came out. I'm on the Packers.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Are you just not betting on this game or on Hammer Down? Or what?
I haven't bet on a Steelers game in a decade and a half.
Is that the problem? Maybe we need to turn it back around.
No.
You brought in old King Hermes onto the chest there or whatever.
They need you. He's still here.
All right. So we both got the Packers. Let's go to the next game. That's a big game, by the way.
Big game.
Remember, while that game's playing, there is the YellaWood 500 happening.
That's right.
About lap 115.
That's over there on NBC. All right, let's go to the next game.
Can't wait.
What's YellaWood?
It's something.
Biggest race in Talladega.
One of the bigger races of the NASCAR season.
Smaller
AJ.
version of the redwood tree.
Yeah, it's kind of it has forest, but we don't hear about it enough. You know what I mean? And the YellaWood 500. Look at their lap 2 going around for the 24 car.
It's not Jeff Gordon.
Bill Byron.
It's Will Byron, dude.
Hey, down there in the rainbow car, coming out there. What is going to happen there? What's going to go down the YellaWood 500?
YellaWolf is singing the national anthem.
He took over for Jeff Gordon.
Hey, YellaWolf had a couple smashes.
He did.
Couple smashes. Shout out YellaWolf.
Shout out.
You know who that is?
No, I don't know what their smashes would be.
Do you know what YellaWolf is?
I don't think so.
White rapper. Used to go very hard. very, very hard. I believe Trailer Park, rapper style, I believe.
Yeah, Hamsky.
Yeah, he goes very hard.
Very reminiscent of Bob Ritchie.
Not at all. Lil White, maybe, okay? But I think what you said there.
He's not a rapper, is he?
Shoot. I mean, he has before. Ball with the ball, bang, bang, diggy.
yeah.
But now he says a lot of things that do not need to be shoehorned into a show, especially whenever we're talking about YellaWood, who never gets any love. Jeez Louise. Let's go to the next game, please. Fucking A, dude. Fucking A. All right, Ravens, Broncos. Ravens are favored by 1 going in to Denver. Mile High. The alien, the anomaly, Lamar Jackson going up against the undefeated Teddy Two Gloves. I saw Von Miller golfing with Caleb Presley on the internet. Von Miller might be 295 pounds of pure muscle. I did not know he was that large of a man until he was standing next to Caleb Presley, and I did not know that is something. I thought Von was like kind of undersized.
Has he bulked up? When Bulk was in the Super Bowl, when Von played in the Super Bowl, he was like 228 or something.
He was wearing I always thought he was undersized and quick and just like had this explosivity.
He is powerful as hell too for how big he is.
Bingo, yeah, and I think that's like maybe he's got like that farm strength too. Like, I think out there, I saw him in a golf polo with Caleb. I don't know what's coming to that. He is fucking massive. I did not know that. That Broncos team is rolling. Your thoughts on Ravens Broncos, AJ Hawk?
I like the Broncos here at +1. So I think I love the Broncos defense. I really do. I love Vaughn and what they can do. And I think Teddy is good as well. So I think the Broncos people are still sleeping on the Broncos, aren't they? Yep. For some reason.
Yeah.
I guess you got to prove it. Like every other team, you got to prove to us that you can play towards the end of the season.
Yeah, they haven't really played anybody of significance. Now, the Jaguars are better than we thought. Yeah, everybody's good. You're right. Everybody can win a game. Understandable. But Jets, Giants, Jags are the 3-0 for the Broncos. And, I think that's going to say something. So with that being said, I'm going to Baltimore tonight. Wow. All right. I'm going to try not to get any diseases from Jimmy's Famous Seafood.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that.
I will try to eat the best crab cakes on earth from Jimmy's, though, without having to, have any interaction with them. I'll figure that whole thing out. I'd like to get a vibe of the city on the Ravens first before I make a pick here.
Okay, that's fair.
Is that all right? Can we postpone this till tomorrow? Can I punt this until a Saturday?
Sure.
I just want to see how Baltimore is. I just want to see how the city's feeling. I want to see a 66-yard field goal. Is everybody is there a hangover potentially happening from celebrating that so hard up there in Detroit? A game that, they probably expected to win came down to one of the most entertaining plays in the history of the game to win that thing. I just want to see how the hangover is over here. With that being said, I'm going with the Ravens. Fuck it.
Wow.
I'm going with the Ravens. Next, Bucks in Foxborough.
Here we go.
Handsome Tom Brady travels back to a place that he called home for 20 years. Handsome Tom Brady, the man with the most Super Bowl rings in NFL quarterback history, is going back to take on a man who is potentially treating him like a child well into his 40s. Rob Gronkowski, who was not practicing all week with a rib injury, is back on the field, full participant, going back into Foxborough to potentially dance on the team that tried to trade him to Detroit at one point. Antonio Brown got sent out of town. He's going back up there.
Whoa.
There will be conversations about this game for the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years. At the NFL 200-year anniversary festival, they will chat about the first time Tom Brady went back to Foxborough to take on Bill Belichick post the greatest dynasty in the history of professional sports. AJ Hawk, your thoughts on this matchup, your pick on this game that is going to be watched by millions and millions. Probably tens of millions if I had to. Yes, tens of millions of people will watch this. This is going to be massive on Sunday night, AJ.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I like the Bucks at -7 here, but it starts to. I'm not self-handicapping, but remember when when Peyton played the Seahawks in the Super Bowl? I remember week leading up to it saying, "Oh man, it's just how do I pick against Peyton? It's so hard to pick against Peyton." First snap of the game goes over his head for a safety in his own end zone, and they just got worked in that Super Bowl. I don't think that's going to happen, but I remember when a lot of people were on one side, stuff like that tends to happen. But that's not going to happen here. The Bucks are going to be all right.
Yeah, there's the reason why the sports books are rich, because normally when everybody's on one thing, normally the casinos and they have chandeliers for a reason. Normally they are winning that thing. But I think what you're forgetting about is the Legion of Boom that was also over there. I'm not sure this is the Legion of Boom for New England's defense. Now, they got veterans up there. Bill Belichick's always going to have a great strategy, always going to have – that guy wins games by himself as a coach, but he's not going to be able to be on the field. I have thought this all week, and I enjoyed that Connor finally got to a position where he saw a way for the Patriots to win this game, because it sounded like Patriots fans were even like, oh, we're going to get killed or whatever, but Tampa by 60, dude. Your thoughts, Connor, on this entire thing?
I mean, that was my thought on Monday. It hasn't really changed. I just hope for a good game, and then we don't have to turn it off at halftime.
Is that my bet, Zito, or AJ's bet, Zito?
That's your bet, and AJ's is 80,000.
Okay, so since I, a little bit more riskier, $10 bet will win you $81,000 for me. AJ, $10 bet will win you $80,000. We go clean sweep. AJ has been closer than me the first 3 weeks, but who says the tide doesn't turn this weekend?
Ooh.
I started 5-2 in week 4. Although AJ's 1-0, I got 6 more bets on top of that thing. Let's go ahead and clean sweep this. One of us. Let's go clean sweep this thing, AJ.
You should have won that bet last night, that parlay you set up.
It's not just me winning there, AJ. That's 43,000 people. In only 7 states.
It's a real shame.
Something to think about.
Yeah, Darren Ravel tweeted, so you're telling me there's 10,000 people betting on this? Then he deleted it.
Yep.
Because he found out. Yeah, there's actually a lot more on the fucking way, Darren.
Yeah, you little weasel.
All right, whoa, Jesus.
Shout out Francesa.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that wasn't you that said that.
No, Francesa was saying that about Andrew Marchand.
Well, listen, Marchand didn't deserve any ricochet shots here either, but Darren Ravel also, I mean, there's some things he does that just like some other people here, we go, why are you doing that, Darren? And I think Darren revels in that entire thing, but why did he delete that tweet, you think, where he was talking about? I like the same game parlay thing that the FanDuel's doing, making it very easy to tail nice ones and good ones.
Yeah.
Last night, $10 bet, raking in $156 for like 43,000 people at the end. That would have been over $8 million in wins. You know how good that would have felt? That would have felt unfucking believable. And they tried to get Jamar Chase in. For whatever reason, the football gods just weren't letting it happen. I don't know what the deal is here, AJ. We should have got this one, dude.
You definitely should have got. Was it a $10 maximum bet here for this?
No, you could $10 risk-free it, or you could actually bet it. There was a lot of risk-free $10 bets, so those people get refunded their $10, obviously. You had to opt in to do that. But there's a lot of people that were hammering this thing for bigger. So, we could have went for it. I hammered it rather large because I wanted to come in here.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Wheelbarrowing all over.
That's right.
All over FanDuel, but I just didn't get a chance to do it. AJ, that was fun, man. Thank you.
Yeah, baby.
We have a brand new season finale vlog coming at 3 o'clock. There is a bunch of giveaways.
Yep.
At 2 o'clock here Eastern Daylight Time. Bunch of giveaways at youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. I think we're giving away an Oculus, AirPods, tickets, money, cash, iPhone. I think it's a season finale. So, as the season is going here, Foxy doesn't have as much time to edit these. So this is like the last 2 weeks combined. And then there's a bunch of giveaways in there on top of all the other giveaways that we do. So I'm really excited. And I think, by the way, Foxy, hell of a season too.
Good work, Foxy.
Not a lot of sleep, a lot of editing for that guy. Let's hit up the 5-Hour Energy phone lines here before we get the hell out of here. Go to 5hourenergy.com. Use promo code McAfee to receive 10% off your order. This is good through December 31st.
Wow.
Shout out to 5-Hour Energy. We can't appreciate them enough. You want to get A to B, A being where you are now, B being full of energy. Go ahead and take a shot of 5-Hour Energy. Go to 5hourenergy.com, buy in bulk, use promo code McAfee, get 10% off. Never wonder, I wish I had a 5-Hour Energy. And there's 15 flavors that are all delicious. Let's go to Nathan and Bowling Green. Go ahead, Nathan.
Hey, what do you say there, Pat?
Hey, what do you got going on there, pal?
Oh, not too much. So me and 40,000 of my closest friends got screwed by the Bungles last night. I love that. Picked up their defense for my fantasy team, too. Got me only 6 points. That was awesome.
Yeah, sorry about that. I expected the Bungles to do a lot better, and I think they got the win, so they're happy. Zach Taylor with no K or H at the end of Zach had a fun time, had a fun night, got to celebrate, shake the hand at Urban, say, hey, sucks to be where you are. I've been there not too long ago. Great to be where I am. But ultimately, they couldn't give the ball to fucking Jamar Chase. What's that all about, Nathan?
Way she goes, Pat. Just way she goes.
Hey, what do you say there? I appreciate you. Let's go to Andrew down there in Tampa. Are spirits high down there in Tampa land?
Hello, it's Tom.
Oh.
I was wondering if Boston Connor's ready to lose by 50.
I said on Monday.
Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. It does feel like he is ready. That's a good call.
Shut up, AJ.
That's a good call. That's a good call. Let's go to Bobby.
Connor, don't kill yourself, please.
Shut up,
please,
AJ.
Please, by
I'll
the
do
way.
what I want.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
What?
Bobby in Jersey, what's going on?
One of these times the bathtub's going to be filled with blood because he slit his wrist.
AJ! That would be an electric electric episode.
Don't do it.
That would be a bad bath talk.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Don't do it. I'm
It's
trying to
Feel
tell him
Good
don't-
Friday.
I'm trying to tell him not to do that.
Bobby in Jersey, please. Quickly. We only got a minute.
Hey, boys, knock, knock.
It won't do well. Who's there, dude?
Tom.
Hey, Tank.
Tank who?
Hey, Tank you, Ty Schmidt. You are the fucking man.
There you
Stay
go.
hilarious. Just got
Thanks,
a quick
dude.
little question. Just want thoughts from Coach Sirianni. After barely ever fucking
Dance
running
clown.
the ball and lost by that division team, how the hell are you going to come back and face that last place Chiefs trying to prove a point?
Yeah, great question over there. And I picked the Eagles, and to be honest, I think Connor and I both were trying to potentially start a celebration there for thank you for the Ty Schmidt, but we weren't able to listen to the entire question. It's going to be tough for the Eagles. Not going to be easy over there.
Yeah, we only have about
10 seconds.
10 seconds. So
AJ, anything to say to Chris Mad Dog Russo's people?
Nope. Sounds good.
All right. I'm sure his show will be much better than ours. We promise you that. Remember, AJ Hawk is very hot against the spread. So if you want to listen back to this or watch this back again, you make some money, go ahead and do that. But I think Todd's turn. I'm about to get fucking hot. Don't you worry about it. We'll see you for Overreaction Monday. Have a great weekend. All right. AJ?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Hey, we've had companies that want to sponsor this.
Really?
Yeah.
Here we
After
go.
hours?
Yeah, they've reached out. Is there any way we can sponsor After Hours? I'm like, we already got fucking enough, don't we? I mean, don't we have enough sponsors? I don't know if we need to do that, but I feel like them even knowing about After Hours is a reason why we should potentially allow them to be a part of it, right? That feels like the right thing.
Yeah, of course. Like you could. Yeah. Why not? If it's the right, especially if it's the right company.
Yeah, they got to get it. And
Exactly.
if they ask about it, though, they already get it.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they're reaching out, then they would have to get it, I think. They can't be like, hey, I want to sponsor After Hours, but I want to really hone these guys in and really get them focused and directed in one direction.
Oh, you're
One
talking
area.
about... You're talking about, like...
Who?
Go ahead.
You talking about State Farm?
Whoa, I didn't say it.
You didn't say it?
Hey, everybody at State Farm heard me not say that.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I didn't say a single thing. I was AJ.
Oh, I wasn't saying they don't get it. I thought, or State Farm coming
It sure sounded like you
okay,
said they have no
dude.
idea what they're doing, and
Yeah.
honestly, they have no clue. That's what it sounded like you said there. Is that what you said?
Well, what it sounds like is State Farm heard that Aaron comes on the show finally after a couple years, and they said, hey, we'd like to be a part of that, and they never watched the show.
It does sound like that is
Yeah.
pretty accurate to
Exactly
what
what
had happened was. Yeah. And they thought they could just play their their normal stick to the script premium boy game, and that's just not how it goes over here.
Nah.
No.
Yeah, we're okay with being like, nah. Here's your money back, by the way.
Plus, Arby's got the RBs.
Bingo. We're not pushing that anymore, are we? We are. We
Yeah,
are. That was a moment. That was a moment on the show that Arby's, who's a good friend of ours, also fan of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Love Arby's.
The marketing team does watch the show, which is awesome news. And a lot of these companies, we go directly to them because people in their building are fans. When they go through the ad agencies, that's when it becomes big time problem. Big. And I think that's why I can't hold this against State Farm, just the ad agency that has no idea what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, how many employees does State Farm have? 1 billion? I'm sure they have a lot going on.
And I think I saw a couple of their employees say like, hey, excited that my insurance company is invested in your show. I'm a big fan. And then the ad agency goes, hey, tell the fucking Toxic Table Stooges to shut their fucking mouths whenever you're talking.
Okay, sorry.
Tell
State Farm.
Tom Diggs over there, the guy in the cowboy hat, we don't give a fuck, all right?
Yeah.
This isn't farmers only, pal. Keep your mouth shut, basically, is what the ad agency said.
Yep.
Basically.
I agree with them.
Anyways, I agree with them. You're the worst. Hammered Down is in 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammered Down. There's about to be the season finale of the behind-the-scenes vlog titled Mr. Friday Night. Foxy made this one. It's a masterpiece, a bunch of giveaways. We can't thank you all enough. I have to get on a plane. I believe Connor's coming with me this week over to Baltimore. Can't wait for that. We'll see you for Overreaction Monday. AJ, great to have you back, pal.
Hey, good to be here. I'm looking forward to the games this weekend. They all should be fun. A lot of tough ones, I feel like. There are a lot of weird ones. It's getting tougher as the season goes, I think.
Yeah, a lot of good games. There will be some games that will be able to not make the TV. We'll be able to hone in on which games matter, but picking all of them is definitely a difficult decision. Don't forget that YellaWood.
No. 2 p.m.
2 p.m. NBC. All right.
Wait, 2 p.m. on Sunday?
Yeah, have a TV on for it. YellaWood down there at Talladega.
Bill Byron's running fast.
All right, season premiere or season finale of Mr. Friday Nights in 20 seconds. We can't thank everybody enough for joining us and watching. You're the fucking best. We'll see you Monday. Have the greatest weekend of all time.